I might be. But we'll see. Woo! I think I am just a little bit. But welcome back in, everybody. It is the live stream Let's Play of MLB The Show 16 as we are entering spring training of 2022 as we continue to follow this road to the show career of one Casey Braxton. I think I've already gone through my stuff here. Pitching, beginner, batting, that's beginner as well. So, we are ready for that. I am a little bit out of frame. And again, spring training takes about 2 hours for this little vidya, if you will. Fielding, reaction, arm strength, arm accuracy, hoo-hoo. Speed. Technically, it's like a 74. Thank you, Stream Elements, for showing people that I am on lines. I don't know what to get here. Wow, that's going to cost $7,000 to boost that to the max? Woo! I mean, I got control. I like having good break on my pitches. I do. I don't think that's enough break on my pitches. But yeah, spring training, you know. I won my arbitration, so I got my $31 million contract on the year. I need a camera adjust here. I don't need to be in so much. The old PlayStation camera. Nothing fancy, no fancy setup, nothing like that. Yeah, see, I don't need to be too much in the way. You need to see me, but you don't need to see just me, if that makes sense. I mean, even uniforms right now don't really matter for spring training, so, like I said, we're just blasting through. And a good morning to everybody on this Friday the 13th, August 2021. Cheers all around. Last night, live from Dyersville, Iowa, the Field of Dreams match. Well, the Field of Dreams location. Yep, they went and played at the Field of Dreams. Well, Major League Baseball built a ballpark, sort of on that same location. The actual diamond from the movie is there. That's a bad way to start things. What a bad way to... Oh, terrible. A one pitch out there saves the arm. Need them strikeouts. Second baseman. Yeah, Javi Baez. But in a game that, you know, yes, I wanted the White Sox to win. But they were up pretty good towards the late part of the game.
No balls, 2 strikes.
They were up, what, 7-4, I think, in the 9th inning. And the Yankees came back. A 2-run homer. I think Aaron Judge hit his 2nd home run. And then a little after that, I think it was Stanton. Finally got on the board with something. He was like 0 for 3, 0 for 4. And Giancarlo Stanton got himself a 2-run homer. So the Yankees took the lead 8-7, forcing the bottom of the 9th. And with a runner on, I think it was a walk, Tim Anderson hit a walk-off 2-run homer, and the White Sox won. An exciting game late, at the very least. I mean, not to say that it won't have any bearing on... Oh, another one pitch out. There we go. Not to say that game will not have no bearing on anything that happens. It was just cool to see. I mean, I heard tickets were massive expensive, though. I mean, they had the corn maze and everything with, like, the MLB logo kind of at the middle of it, and just a cool feel, just a cool look.
Casey Braxton.
Well, why not just go for it here, huh? Is that one going? Is that one going? Is that one going? He robbed me at the wall.
The batter, number 1.
Felt like it had too much air under it. Felt like it had too much air. It can't be that, man.
Right fielder, Christopher.
0-1's the count.
Love hearing that pitch rip through the air like that. The seams just... Well, you know. Yeah, but just an exciting kind of a feel in a game. And Major League Baseball definitely opened to the idea, like, no, we're going to do more games from here. And I think that's great. I think every team should get an opportunity. Now, granted, if you play 15 games there in the year, you know, that's kind of a lot, I would say. It kind of takes away the mystique of it. Like, you know, like the NHL Outdoor Classic. Like, where it started, I believe it was Pittsburgh at Buffalo, Ralph Wilson Stadium. You know, the NFL Buffalo Bills home. Even on beginner difficulty, I'm not on my stuff right now. But I think that was New Year's Day 2008, I believe. And did that go into overtime or a shootout or something? Pittsburgh ended up winning.
Third baseman.
But that just, it's outdoors. 73,000 can fill that place for a football game. I think they had close to 80 for a hockey game. Of course, the hockey rink, the hockey, you know, the ice area, much smaller than a football field, so
1-1.
you can bring in more people that way. I remember that weekend too. I was actually back. At the time, I was living down here in Fort Lauderdale. I had just started college, just started school. But I went back up for the New Year's run. Some friends of mine in Orlando. These kids are, you know, they grew up in Buffalo, so for them, like, gotta watch this. I'm like, dude, that's fine. Like, nothing against college football and the bowl games and all that stuff. I want to watch this.
He's
You
out.
know, another one pitch. Wow, we're just rolling today. That's 3 outs on one pitch
The shortstop.
apiece. Anyway,
Jim Gray.
he's crowding the plate too, just like Baez does.
0-1's the count.
Anyway. Oh, and new developments. I mean, you know, the Cleveland Indians are changing the name. They will be the Cleveland Guardians for next baseball season. Curveball gets him. I'm going to have to buy a Cleveland Guardians hat. Unless they keep that... No, the font looks different. Just that capital block C.
Stephen Ryan.
I'll need to get a Guardians hat. I'll need one.
Nope, that's down.
Because I'll need one. I have the Chief Wahoo, you know, the Major League, right? The movie Major League. I mean, I got
21.
that logo. Sure, it's not from the movie, but you get the idea. I got that. I got the big, you know, block capital C.
Oh,
Good play, good out. Yeah, we'll just take all the... Yeah, let's... Am I going to drive this guy in, or what's the deal here?
The pitcher, Casey Braxton.
Spring training. All the fun there within. Opposite field, that's gonna drop down. Yeah, run comes in. Oh shoot, if he's gonna be slow like that, I'm gonna try for a triple. Look, he was stuck on the wall a little bit.
Now batting, shortstop, Carlos Correa.
And the fact that I had an opposite field punch, that feels good. All right, 2 outs, whatever, next appearance. If he gets me home, nah, he didn't. Back to the mound. Got some Twitch lurkers. Welcome on in, everybody. Had that Field of Dreams game last night. Oh, and I'm watching the results now. I'm not even in.
Velasno.
Pitch 3 innings and pull me. This is Spring Training 2022. Yes, this is MLB The Show 16. It is a Road to the Show career. And we still lose. Come on. I drive in a run. We lose. That doesn't matter. It's Spring Training, just going for the points. Put it on beginner difficulty. There were problems all along the way. Because yeah, now that the servers are shut down for this game, like, my ranking up does nothing. I can't buy any more packs or cards, or the stubs really don't matter. I mean, I guess I could save after every... No, maybe after, like, every week, let's go. Because I don't know how they're going to have me do this. It's usually, like, you start, and then you get a couple of relief spots, or something. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Oh, boy. Fun times. Got to do a workout later today before I get myself back into work. I had the last 2 days off, which was nice. I was enjoying that. I was streaming both days. I finished up Final Fantasy IX. I don't need to warm up. And yesterday I jumped back into Hitman 2, jumping into the campaign Patient Zero. So that was good. I mean, when I finished up Final Fantasy IX the other day, it's a long-term kind of a game. Took a good deal of time. I don't have a lot of time to stream anymore.
no balls.
So like Spring Training takes about 2 hours, start to finish. And even in the regular season, I'll do what I call my 3-game minimum. So
Center fielder
I'll have 3 starts, if you will, and then that's about it. Hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, depending on how things might be going. I don't know.
0-1.
But an hour and a half that's good enough, and even on a work day, I can do that. Get that out of the way.
0-2.
No big deal. But I mean, to get a day where I can stream sweeping curveball, and he's gone. On a day where I can get like 3, 4 hours, 5, 6 hours to stream, like, wow, that's when I got to play like my long-term game days. And I still got some things that I'm working on. That's kind of what happened, because even after Final Fantasy IX, it's like, oh, I can start a new game. Yay, something long-term. I got things on the back burner. Now, I did mention
No balls, 2 strikes.
Hitman 3. That will happen. Might not be the first thing I jump into. Because I kind of want to, like, clear catalogs of other games. I mean, I still got a thing of Minecraft I'm kind of farting around with. Cities Skylines, I can do that. Yeah, Hitman with Patient Zero, it's like a new... It might be a DLC-type campaign. Curveball gets him. But, it's like, let me clear up some things there. And just for full disclosure, Shovel Knight, we're going to jump back into that. Undertale, we're going to get back into that. And that'll take a few episodes per. At least with Undertale, because I want to do 2 more playthroughs, if you will. Because I did kind of the middle ending, so to speak. I need to do a no-kill run, and I need to do a genocide run. So, got that to look forward to. At least for Undertale. With Shovel Knight, there's 3 playable characters from what I know. I did it with, well, the Shovel Knight, then there's like the Plague Knight and some other knight. So I got those 2 other characters to play the game through. Like I said, I got to finish up with whatever I plan on doing with Minecraft.
Your attention, please.
Killing the Ender Dragon, that kind of thing.
Number 83.
That's a thing I'll need to do. Oh, that's right. So already in this episode, excuse me, back to baseball. That's why you're here.
Leading off for Cincinnati.
Javi Baez goes to Milwaukee, a bad team in our division. Chris Bryant goes to Cincinnati, a bad team in our division.
No balls, 2 strikes.
We're probably still the front runner in our division. And Pittsburgh was pretty good the past couple of seasons. The dropper gets them. 12-6.
Now batting. First baseman.
Why would you go to a team in our division who's worse than us? Now, whatever the money, I don't know.
Nope.
See, that's another thing, too. Like, why don't I just go for as much money as I can? Because I don't think the GM, the AI GM, I don't think he's going to have, I don't think they are smart, I guess is my point.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
So while we lose 2 good players in Baez and Bryant, at least when we looked at our pie chart, yeah, wow, so beginner difficulty, and he just hits a home run. CJ Crone, I'm going to hit you. Well, this is a relief spot. You best believe I'm going to hit CJ Crone. -8 points. Really?
Left fielder, Andy.
0-1's the count.
Now we're pitching beginner. How does it even do that? When this game doesn't want you to do well. And I've said that in the past. Well, that's a shot out to right. Playable, though. Good. How do I let by a run at all through spring training?
Catcher, Ken Williamson.
Now we got some music going in the background, if you can hear that.
0-1.
Super Smash Bros. Melee, Yoshi's Island. Which is actually like a Mario World theme.
Hey!
But oh well, it's fine. So yeah, while I got other things, sweeper and he's gone. While I'm thinking like, what's the next game that I should play? Like long-term game, I don't know, because like I said, Hitman 2, I want to finish up with the Patient Zero campaign. Then Minecraft, I got to do something there. Shovel Knight, I got 2 character playthroughs to go through. Undertale, I got 2 more playthroughs, results-wise, that I want to go through. Just sort of, just clear up sort of the catalog, if you will. And I just saw that Axiom Verge 2 is now a game that's out there in existence. I played Axiom Verge 1. Enjoyable, a little bit different for me, but... Well, let's get a save going right now, because we finished a week. And we're not hurt, we're not injured, whatever.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the Chicago Cubs, number 83, Casey Braxton.
Get me in there. Of course, I was going to play Friday the 13th today because it's Friday the 13th, but I don't know how many people are on that game because it's, you know, server-wise. I don't know, like, it seemed like a pretty fun game. Seemed like a good idea, at least.
I got the count 0-2.
But, you know, a little polish and it can be good. I mean, you can play it against, you know, got fastball and he's gone. You can play it as Jason against computer, whatever, camp counselors, whatever you want to call them. Just kind of go through and get yourself built up and leveled up that way. But then that's the thing, too, with that game, is you, when you play online, like, with a bunch of people, it's somewhat random as far as who's going to be Jason. It's like, if you are Jason, like, which version of Jason do you want to be? And if you are a camp counselor, like, you have to unlock and level them up. So, it's kind of like, which camp counselor are you going to be? Some are faster runners, some don't freak out as much and are more quiet, even when they're in stressful situations. It's an interesting kind of a game. But I mean, when there's not that many people on the servers, whatever, it can be like, well, just waiting for a game to start, That happened to me. I actually had a one episode thing of Friday the 13th a couple of years ago. And that was it, because as it was later in the night, for me, like here on the East Coast, it was like 11:30 at night. And I'm guessing like all the kiddies that were playing had to go to bed, so there was like nobody on the servers whatsoever. And I was like, okay, and this kind of stinks. I was having a great conversation with somebody, someone that I know here through the Twitch line of things. Oh, I was one pitch away from immaculate. Whew, I've done that before, at least in spring training. Play the next one. The ERA of 1.5, that's terrible. How do I let by a home run on beginner difficulty? Let's see, well, that's a good question.
Leading off the afternoon for the Dodgers, right fielder, Ray Nunez.
And so, yeah, I did a lot of number crunching with looking at ballparks that are, you know, good ballparks for pitchers. And granted, I looked online for a few things, and I was a little shocked to see, you know, I did my own research. There was like an ESPN page that showed, like, kind of season by season, which ballparks were better, you know, as far as like for scoring runs, etc., batting average, all that stuff. And when I looked at it all, some of the things in the numbers and ideas that I had initially were, some of it was close, but the initial things that I read about and were talking with you about were based on like one season or a point. Like, so far here in the the 2014 season, you know, we're just past the All-Star game, and these are the ballparks that are doing well. It's a lot of those conversations were one season type numbers, or they just looked at the previous season. But the thing that I did find, I looked at all the ballpark numbers starting in 2000.
The count, 0-2.
And of course, I was just looking at National League teams. I had to narrow that down as well. But looking at National League ballparks, starting at 2000. Ooh, the dropper. And granted, Dodger Stadium has been there forever. Petco started, what, in 2003, I think it was? So I had to take that into account, too. Like, I can't start counting the numbers for all these places. What, SBC, AT&T, Yahoo, whatever it is now.
0-1.
You know, Candlestick out in San Francisco, right? That, I think, came about in 99.
I got the count, 0-2.
So, like, based on my research, you know, I was able to look at all those numbers. And having to factor in, like, well, Barry Bonds being there for a good chunk of years, and then the good years that the Giants had in their 3 World Series wins in 5 seasons. Having to consider a lot of those things. And remember, the Cardinals, that name was brought up a couple of times. And the Pirates, that name was brought up. They didn't come until maybe 2001. I forgot exactly. But I had to take in a lot of things. Now, of course, Colorado, not going to happen. Milwaukee made the list, and I looked at everything 2000 to 2015. This game starting the 2016 season, obviously, so I had to look into those numbers. So I did about 15 years worth of numbers research. And it was astounding to me when I looked at it all. Because when I checked all my numbers,
Ball 1. I got the count, 1-2.
What I saw was somewhat astounding to me, that Petco, San Diego, ranked #1 for pitchers in a lot of those seasons. Now, a very consistent Dodger Stadium numbers were looking really good. But PNC didn't show up that much. Whatever, Candlestick?
Hey!
Is it AT&T in this game? I'm not even sure. But splash hits out there in McCovey Cove. It was shocking to see those numbers kind of were varied quite a bit. And like I said, that's considering. You know, you had the Barry Bonds years. You had the great pitching years with Lincecum and Bumgarner and you know, guys like that. So it's kind of like, it's weird to see, like, those are two completely different shifts in time for the same franchise at the same ballpark. Pull shot. Good, Rick. That's corners. Oh, not belly flop. I was holding down to go feet first.
The right fielder, number 22.
Now, Hayward, you can get us home. Come on, I'll get at least him home. Looks like a sacky fly. Come on, Jolly. Next appearance. He strikes out. Rizzo. Come on, buddy. And he'll dribble out to first. Back to the mound. But I wanna look at that the way that I computed my numbers. Of course, you have to account for how many years available through the 15 years. Listen to me stumble. Through the 15 years of research, the only stadium that was there the whole time, obviously, was Dodger Stadium. You know, PNC, Petco. I think the Giants were as well. I could be wrong there. I'll look into that. But, it was very weird to me to see, like, okay, I have to account the fact that all these ballparks, Miller Park, for example, they came in early 2000. They might have been like 01, 02, something like that. And one year they actually made the listing of being, I think I was looking at top 10 teams, top 10 ballparks per year. Now Milwaukee made it one year. That might have been in that mix where they had CC and or Greinke. And after that, they never made, never cracked the top 10 again. Or if they did, it like so few and far between. So I had to compute the idea that, like, of these 15 years, how many seasons was this ballpark in this 15-year window? Because, I mean, if it's a brand new ballpark, and I don't know, I think one of the newest ones in this era would have been Marlins Park. Marlins Park, well, when they played at the football stadium, Joe Robbie, pro player, whatever, when they played at the Miami Dolphins football stadium, they had really good pitchers' numbers, really good. But was it 2012, 2013, somewhere around there, when they went to Marlins Park, the numbers suddenly disappeared. And it was much better for hitters. So, taking into account that, well, Marlins, they showed up a lot early 2000s. That ballpark, that field, stadium, whatever you want to call it, that was in the mix quite a bit. But I can't count those years because they're not playing in the same venue they are now in real life. So taking into account, that's a thing. And that is a thing. But I had a notebook of, I jotted down some things. Yeah, still some good Smash Brothers music going on. Those games are, if anything, the music is great. I'm not a good fighting game guy. Oh, I tore up my other stuff, though. Oh, no. Well, anyway. So what I was able to look at was from 2000 to 2015. The Dodgers, of course, they were there all 15 seasons. San Francisco was there all 15 seasons. San Diego comes in, they had 12 years out of the 15 total. Atlanta, Turner Field, was there the whole time, right? Pittsburgh, PNC, was there the whole time. New Busch Stadium, Busch Stadium version 3, only 10 years of the 15. So yeah, 2005 sounds about right. And then the Mets, Citi Field. They were in the past 7 years. So, and those were the better teams to look at, because like I said, I did look all across the board, Minnesota, you name it, Cincinnati. I threw away those pieces of paper, my scribbled notes. Oh man, I should have kept it, just so I could give reference to the years. I mean, you could picture the years there. So sorry, Dodgers, San Francisco, and Atlanta, and Pittsburgh. So there were 4 teams that were always there in that 15-year window I was looking at.
3.
The Dodgers made the top 10 13 out of 15 years. So that's 86% of the time they made it. San Francisco made the top 10 only 9 out of 15 years. That's only 60% of the time, but their average score when they did rank in the top 10, they ranked 5th among, the top 10 teams. Well, their rank was 5th. Sorry. And the Dodgers, 13 out of 15 years. So they made the top 10 86% of the time. Their average score was 5.3. San Diego, now they were only there 12 out of 15 years, but in those 12 years, all 12 years they ranked in the top 10. So 100% of the time, they made it. Their average score was 2.91. If we're looking at that as an ERA, that's much better than the 5 and the 5.3. So right there, I'm looking at like, wow, Petco, and sure, if you go back, well, Jake Peavy, he's there, or who am I thinking of? Like, who was their great pitching? San Diego in those eras were not that great of a team. They're probably at their best right now than they may have ever been. So San Diego really jumped out to me. Atlanta only made it 7 out of the 15 times. And there were some down years. I mean, that's right at the tail end of Smoltz-Glavin, Maddox, right? But still, to only make the top 10 7 out of 15 times, that's 46%. When they did make it, though, a score of 5.8. Pittsburgh, only 5 times in the top 10, 5 out of 15, so that's 33% of the time, and their ranking was 6.4. St. Louis made it 8 out of 10 times, so their 10 years, they made the top 10 8 times, 80% of the time. But their score was a 7.25. Simulated game. Hold on. No, stop simulated. So we got to do this. We got to do this. We're going to go get some free points, but we're going to make sure that it's pitch command. And then the Mets at Citi Field. 7 years at Citi Field. So let's reload, do all that. So they've made the top 10 85% of the time that they were there, with an average score of 5.8. Simulated game. Nope. Sorry, I'm going to keep redoing this till we get it. So yeah, I was a little bit surprised to see all those numbers. Pitch command, there we go. We're already on beginner, no worry. So San Diego, within their available years, they made the top 10 the most at 100%. The Dodgers, 86% of the time. The Mets... Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, I did screw that up. The Mets did make it 100% of the time. I apologize. I screwed up a year. Their score actually, instead of 5.8, was 5.4, so I screwed up. I think I missed something there. But average score, still, the Mets were the highest score at 5.4, then the Dodgers at 5.3, San Diego 2.91. So if I were to go to another team, like, those would be the teams I'd want to go to based on how good the ballparks are. Because now, granted, this thing that I was looking at, when it did say Chicago, I don't know if that was... it didn't say National League, American League, it didn't say Cubs, White Sox. So that's confusing to me. Chicago did make the top 10... and either way, it would have been, whatever, U.S. Cellular, frickin'... It would have been North Side or South Side regardless. So the ballpark doesn't matter. I just don't know which... If it was American League or National League, I don't know which team it was. But even still... That showed up in these 15 seasons I looked at, I don't know, tops 5 times. Let's just say tops 6 times. But what if it was 3 and 3? 3 White Sox, 3 Cubs. Still, for me, that's too inconclusive and not enough. Even if it is 6 out of 15, and it was Wrigley Field, well, that's less than, well, that's right in between Atlanta and, whatever, Pittsburgh. And I know I'm talking, like, numbers and just, holy cow, crazy stuff. But San Diego ranked so high. They were the #1 ballpark for pitchers several times, which is why their score of 2.91. Remember, you want the lowest score in this scenario. So the Mets at 5.4, the Dodgers at 5.3, San Diego at 2.9. That might be the best place for me to end up. I mean, St. Louis at a 7.25, Pittsburgh at a 6.4, Mets at 5.4. Mets and Atlanta, actually, both scoring 5.4. So, considerations there. Yeah, so Atlanta and the Mets tied. LA 5.3. San Francisco did score a solid 5, but they didn't get into the top 10 as often. Yeah, 60% of the time. That's not... It's like when you're good, you're good. Like I said, part of that, I don't know, like if it's the Barry Bonds years... granted, they had good pitching at the time, but Barry Bonds is going nuts, and he's getting walked, and, you know, Jeff Kent somehow wins a frickin' MVP. But it's like, you gotta consider that era. It's like, where they did rank pretty good. But then, you know, the Lincecum, Bumgarner, like, that whole era as well, you gotta consider that. It's like, really good pitching. San Diego... There's no way, and even if Peavy, like, Peavy was good, I don't think it was that darn good. But, like, LA, the Dodgers, decent. I mean, lately, sure, even at the start of 2000, were they that great? I don't think so. They had a little bit of a lull, and then they started this steamroller coming back for the better part of, well, right now, 10 years. But by 2016, when this game is starting, the Dodgers really hitting their stride. So you could say, like, even back towards... You know, 2011, 2012, something like that. Well, we just got our stuff. Let's save. Let's save now. We got a 1 game coming up. We'll save at the end next week. But in crunching the numbers, and granted, San Diego, only eligible, dare I say, for 12 years, but they ranked in the top 10 all 12 years, with an average score of just under 3, ranking 3rd. On average. So San Diego's looking very sexy. San Francisco, like, I still like the idea, but I have to consider a few things. They didn't always, they barely, just over half the time, made it into the top 10. With good low scores, but that's with really good pitching staffs. LA, 5.3. Now, sure, towards these Kershaw years that they've been having, leading into, you know, the release of this game, yeah. But still, there's about close to 10 years prior to that, from 2000 to 2010. I'm not saying the Dodgers were bad, but clearly not as good as they have been, you know, in the Kershaw era. So, things to consider there. Atlanta and the Mets with a tied score of 5.4. Now, granted, they do have a new ballpark now, but 2016 they still had Turner Field. So, I mean, for that to be part of the thing, you know.
0-1's the count.
I almost have to nix them away. So, that's kind of my top three right now. It would be San Diego,
I got the count.
LA, and the Mets. Now, the only good thing is, like, going out to that Western Division, I would be, if I took San Diego, well, then I got to play San Francisco and LA a couple of times each year. Right, so I'd be pitching in 3 really good pitchers' parks for a good chunk of the season. So I do have that thought in my mind. Staying here in the Central Division, well, it's either Pittsburgh or St. Louis, preferably in that order, strangely enough. Well, no, not so much, honestly, because Pittsburgh, only 5 out of 15, St. Louis, 8 out of 10. Now, that St. Louis has a higher score, but they made the top 10 a lot more times. So where a lot of the literature that I read initially was like, wow, PNC, Pittsburgh, that's looking really good. San Francisco's looking really good. You know, a lot of these teams were like San Diego wasn't really on the radar for much of this. It looked like San Francisco, LA, Pittsburgh, and St. Louis is kind of an outlier. St. Louis still a little bit on the outs right now for me. But if I go to St. Louis, I would also have to, you know, play against and in Pittsburgh at times, so there's some help. But what about, you know, Wrigley? You know, what about going to Cincinnati? What about going to Milwaukee? Going to the West seems like the best thing right now. San Diego, San Francisco, LA. The downside would be having to play against Colorado, where runs are plentiful, but then again, too, I can get some hits myself. Oh, I kind of want to see what this is.
Please. Now pitching for the Chicago Cubs, number 83, Casey Braxton.
Well, that's kind of funny. So yeah, I did a little bit of extra homework for myself. And it really looks like San Diego is going to be that team to go to in the long run.
Designated hitter, Kelly.
Now see, number crunching like that, I kind of wish sports games would do it because, well, picture what this career is. This, because the interactions are so low and it's not like post-game interviews and interactions with teammates, the games eventually started to become that. But to be fair, I kind of feel like if you can't give me like interaction and sort of like character development, then give me the deepest of stats possible. Because even as a Silver Slugger winning batter, and I will never not win it ever again. I know it's beginner batting difficulty, and I don't care, whatever. Gotta help my cause, even with this good batting team that I was on. Just looking at that, it's a little bit interesting to me. Because, like, I don't get to see my batting stats year for year. I just know that I won the Silver Slugger multiple times. It's pretty much all I got. So.
Now batting, center fielder, Ben Revere.
And apparently in the show 21, you can be a dual player much like Ohtani. Well, I like the way that guy was batting. He like lift that leg and kick it, but thanks for the one pitch out that saves the arm. I know this is just, I think, a relief spot for us. Woo! If you get a strikeout every inning you pitch, you're going to have a pretty good career. Pretty good career. And it's funny, as this career started, like, oh, I just want to be this this guy that, you know, I can stay around forever because I don't throw massive stuff. It's got a lot of movement, a lot of break to it, and I want to be an innings horse. And then I get greedy. I want to have more strikeouts than innings pitched. 6,100 points of training and development. Ugh. I've been streaming for 40 minutes, and we're technically into the, well, we started kind of a first week, a little bit, a couple of games. We did have a training session. Is that going to drop in? No. One pitch out, thank you so much. You know what's weird, too, is, like, eventually, I will indeed want to, well, if the show 22 here on PS4, if they get, like, Stadium Creator, of course I'm going to want to do that and, like, create a,
Center fielder number 27.
Oh, look at that Trout, I forgot he was there. And, like, you know, create my own ballpark. And probably just for a franchise mode. I don't know if you can do it with a Road to the Show career. Like, that would be fun for me. That would be fun for me. But, and, you know, well, ticket pricing, all that. I don't know if it goes that far in depth. Making your own stadium versus, you know, ticket pricing and all that stuff. If the PS4 can't do it for next year's game, well, then I guess I wait, no big deal. But the main reason I would buy a show game now, I would have to buy a PS5, number one. But, for that, you know, I would have to go a little extra. I'm not going to dig in my pockets just for that. I mean, I'm playing a game that's already 5 years old. And a two-run lead, EA.
Third baseman, Hideki Inaba.
Yeah!
I will not mind going to San Diego. See, the thing is, off camera, I have a couple other careers. I don't know if you see those, as I'm going to overwrite this file. Because I know there's a little bit of a stream blocker. Drop them. It's like I have my first baseman / DH, super duper Fat Floyd Cooper. I mean, very much, you know, a power hitting dynamo. Then I have closing pitcher, Victor Cash. And I think, well, anyway, and he's not that big of a guy, but throws immense smoke. Nothing but velocity. Then I got Fast Eddie Brooks, center fielder. And I think he's playing for San Diego right now. So it'll be kind of weird for me. Got fastball, by the way. It'll be a little bit weird to have like two Road to the Show careers going, both in San Diego. And I tried to trade, man. I tried getting a trade. Then I have another guy, second baseman for Toronto. Just like, because it's different. You know, like defensively up the middle, all that stuff. Like I'm not Mr. You know, I'm not Mr. Defensive positioning, you know, shifting guy. By the way, that was a swig of water for the gamer guys and girls coming out of the new Copper Mug of Awesomeness. Damn it, it's 2 outs. Let me just lower a little bit, huh? Just drop a little. That's a pretty good shot. It's, and I'll take a 2-run bomb. See, and I'm sad, like, I don't get any batting, like, ability build-up, you know what I mean? Like, that's a 2-run homer. Solid contact, RBI, and that should be, what, plus 10 points at least, I would picture. Well, that one stayed in the air a little bit, which is nice, Rocky Gale. Is he like Juggy Gales?
Catcher.
Anybody know Juggy Gales out there, huh?
Gale.
0-1.
Probably not. And if you do, leave it in the comments
Whoa,
section.
down.
Yeah, I know Juggy. Anyway.
1 ball, 2 strikes, the count.
If you have any idea, if I just did a Google search on that, I wonder what shows up. Cut fastball gets him. I'm going to do that.
Batting ninth, pitcher, Johnny Schweitzer.
Huh. Okay, so there is something of a Juggy Gales that people might have mild knowledge of.
Hey!
Well, I'm referring to it because somebody else was referring to it.
I got the
And
count.
seeing that I'm
0-2.
playing for the Cubs and there's a guy named Rizzo on the team, maybe you're connecting the dots now.
Ball 1.
A guy named Rizzo was looking for Juggy Gales. I'll just say that. You're mentioning him, asking about him. So don't worry about me. Cut, he gone. Yeah, so San Diego, LA, the Mets, maybe Atlanta, maybe San Francisco, Pittsburgh, and St. Louis on the outside looking in, my opinion.
0-1's the count.
0-1 is the count. Woohoo! Up the middle, nah. Hey, good try. Good try, you can't blame him. Bad pitch.
Now batting,
Yeah, with other games that I kind of want to take care of.
Diaz.
Yeah, Hitman 2, I had fun with that the other day. It's funny, I had back-to-back days off. Wow, thank goodness. So I had Wednesday and Thursday off, today being Friday the 13th.
0-2 is the count.
But, yeah, if Wednesday I beat Final Fantasy IX, I felt very accomplished that day. And, I played some NHL 19. Oh, I should have gone over to third base. Oh, well, whatever.
Leading off for San Diego, center fielder number 27,
Woo.
Mike Trout.
Hey! 0-1.
But I felt very accomplished Wednesday. I guess because I beat a game and I liked it. And yeah, NHL 19, I picture I'm probably done with that. FIFA, I think that's FIFA 19 as well. I'm probably done with that. Just dropper. Because this is a sports game that's going to take long enough. I mean, to play NHL 19, it takes long enough. I mean, each game I play takes about an hour. And that can be a little bit problematic. That can be a little bit extra of itself. And like I said, I want to clear the catalog of games that I kind of have things going with. So yeah, Hitman 2, Minecraft, Undertale, Shovel Knight, you know.
The count is 1 and 2.
It's like, oh, I can still do something with this, so. Flipping curveball, Will Myers can take a seat. Ow, 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 ow.
Now batting, third baseman, Hideki Inaba.
And as I look into the future for what this career can be, and it's going to take a while. Again, if I do 3 games per episode, that's still going to be about 11 episodes per regular season.
The count,
Because
0-2.
you get at least 30 starts, so that's 10 episodes. And there's like an extra sprinkled in there. So if you get like 33 starts, that's 11 episodes to get through a season. We're going to be here for quite some time, ladies and gentlemen. Dropper. Because we did 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. We've done 6 seasons. That's taken some time. A 2-run homer?
Leading
Well,
off the Chicago
let's do another one.
Pitcher, number 83.
83, huh?
Hey!
That's all I got on my fastball, is 83 miles per hour. Oh. Very early on a 4-seamer, huh? Oh boy, this don't look good. Well, we'll get the base hit, start things off. Why number 83? That's not the year he was born. No, that's my fastball. What? We got Carlos Correa. I forgot about that. Well, that's cool. Force out and next run up. 10-1. The final. Rizzo with 4 RBI. Good for him. Good for him. Dun, 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 dun. 2, 2, 3. 7 strikeouts in 4 innings. Pretty good. Cameron Trehan. Well, that's okay. Whatever. Final Fantasy IX music right now on the Henrico Magnifico Nintendo Radio. Just look for Nintendo Radio on YouTube. It's a live stream of just video game music. The final battle, Final Fantasy IX. You know, fun little game, but man, I did a lot of grinding. I did a lot of grinding in that game, leveling up and such. Now, I'd like to think that I went through it decent quick. But again, like, I showed everything that was there.
Third baseman, Chesler Cuthbert.
1 pitch out, saves the arm.
Now batting, left fielder.
And yeah, me being as stubborn as I'm thinking to, like, well, I just want to be in the National League so I can get my at-bats going.
0-1.
It's very different. Like, if I were to do another Road to the Show career, yeah, I know, it sounds crazy. I know it does.
8-2.
But again, it'd be really odd. Like, what's the player, what's the position, do I have a team in mind?
Out.
Let's get running towards the guy. Come on now.
Now batting, the designated hitter, Ketel Marte.
Ketel Marte, Seattle? Bad pitch.
0-1's the count.
But a worse swing. Bad pitch. Now, if he hit a home run, I wouldn't be mad at that. I'd be a little upset, but I was so off. Can't even be mad at it.
3.
And he'll just watch that sweeper go. Fun times. Yeah, and honestly, like, man, to be... Because, like, when I do a franchise mode, and I've told you, you know, first baseman DH is Floyd Cooper. Eddie Brooks is out in center field, and he's like the base stealer. I would have a... I guess it would be Derek Metzger would be the pitcher's name. Like the ace, right? I just like the name Derek Metzger. Nothing against Casey Braxton, Adam Carlisle, that was one in existence. It was Sammy Freeman was his name. It's just not cool enough of a name. It worked at the time, but I think Derek Metzger is much better. And I would probably, as I've been doing, like I have, it's with Oakland, is the team I take. And if I were to make my own stadium,
Your attention, please.
ooh, that'd be fun.
Now pitching for the Cubs.
I don't know how it would look or whatever. I just the sexy idea of it. And if you're able to do like ticket pricing and all that, I would want to make the place massive.
Leading off for Arizona.
No ball.
Like, let's fit a ton of people in there, because most ballparks now, and baseball fits more than, of course, hockey. Like 20,000 is pretty big. Hockey or basketball, right? NFL, pro football. I mean, sure, there's the Cowboys can get 100,000 in that big place, but otherwise it's ooh, the dropper. But a football joint, what do they do? Like 70s kind of big.
Number 25.
You know, now college football, forget it. That's a completely different animal. College football dominates.
0-1.
You know, as far as like dare I call it outdoor attendance.
No ball. 2 strikes.
Because, I mean, you get, like, you know, the Big House in Ann Arbor, Happy Valley at Penn State's very big, Tennessee is very big. Well, what was that? That was a dropper. Excuse me. I know it's spring training, it doesn't really count.
Tristan.
I like that batting stance. He looks compact, he looks ready. Who is this kid? Tristan Acevedo. A 1-pitch out. Thank you for that. Wonder if I can look into that. What his batting stance is.
Now batting, the pitcher, Casey
Two-seamer?
Braxton.
Might not be.
Ha!
It will be, though. Well, that's Dallas Keuchel. I forgot he was there. Not in real life. Oppo. Over his head? Nope.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the Cubs.
Well, sorry. Well, Chris Tillman, that's right. I forgot he come in. He's doing pretty good right now in real life, is he not? Because I think he's the one that went away. No, it was Gaussman, I think, is doing really good. He left Baltimore. Tillman is from Baltimore, if I remember right. But seemingly, based on our pie chart, we have a much better pitching team this season. Yeah, we lost a little bit on the batting side of it. Alberto Fernandez, he was our guy, right? Didn't we have him a few seasons ago? Really good catcher. I thought he won like a... thought he was a Silver Slugger. I think that's the guy. Brian Mint, Ron Daly, Brett Lowry, Lucius Fowler. I like that name, Lucius. That's a great name.
Now pitching for the Cubs.
His parents did well.
Casey
Here he is.
Braxton. And leading off for the White Sox, the shortstop, Lucius Fowler.
Lucius. There's certain names, like, I don't know if that's a biblical name, but it seems very old-timey. Lucius, Aloysius, you know, like Mortimer. Oh no, that music's coming in loud, Xenoblade Chronicles.
Out!
Like a lot of those old-timey, like Vern, Vernon.
Alberto Fernandez.
I kind of like those old-timey names.
Ball one.
Oh, that's another thing too. I mentioned my, I have that second base, you know, position player road to the show career for the Toronto Blue Jays. And I chose Toronto. I forgot what I named the guy, but I wanted him to have like a nick, you know, like Scooter Jeanette. Like, I didn't want to name him something that already exists, like Scooter, like Smokey, or there was a really good name. If his name, or sorry, if I was playing for Arizona, his name would easily be Cobra Pierce. Such a great name. Cobra Pierce plays for the Diamondbacks. But Cobra, it's like a nickname that the announcers can actually say. But Cobra Pierce, right? Because the fangs are gonna bite you. Great name. Doesn't work well as the Toronto Blue Jay. But a Bulldog Pierce, well, Bulldog, that was Oral Hershiser. We already have, you know, a Scooter Pierce. That doesn't sound good enough. But I want to like that kind of that nicknamey name, you know? And, yeah, it's just something I'm farting around with. It's no big deal. Starlin Castro's over there. Hernan Perez. Jorge Soler. Frankie Linder. And Abraham Almonte. Yeah, Francisco Lindor. If you would have told me he would have been, like, as good as he's looking right now in real life, well, I still kind of don't believe it, to be quite honest with you.
Leading off with a try.
I still kind of don't believe it.
Abraham Almonte.
Whoa. Seemed like there's a little glitch action going there.
Out!
One pitch out, saves the arm. There we go. Because I think this is a start for me.
Left fielder, Darren Overstreet.
Well, I want to check that kid from Arizona, Acevedo. Tristan Acevedo. I kind of like his batting stance. I might take it for my own.
I got the count.
I kind of like this this jersey that Cleveland's wearing here. Like, I'm not always fond of like these like splits, like the, you know, the pinstripes is always fine. White Sox, Cubs have theirs. Yankees, of course. But even ours, like, kind of, it's like got the red striping at the armpit, kind of like that's okay for me. But I kind of like what Cleveland's got going on right now. Sort of the red back plate. There's something about it, it just looks cool. Does he have, like, Rizzo's
0-1's
batting
the count.
stance? He might. He might.
Aye.
Yeah, but Rizzo is, I think, more in on the plate. Coming in hot, Goose. Oh, that's
I got
another
the count.
thing.
1 and
Goose
2.
Pierce? I don't know. Because initially, like, I had the guy's name, and it sounds
3.
very odd. Ooh, Cutter got him. I think it was Whitey Kilcullen. I think it was Whitey Kilcullen. I'm like, definitely sounds Irish, does he not?
Leading off with a drive,
Oh, wrong pitch.
designated hitter, Todd
It's like
Roberts.
Whitey Kilcullen. Like, I kind of like the...
0-1.
It was Graham. His name was Graham Kilcullen. But, of course, the audio was Whitey Kilcullen. Then I'm like, I don't know. That's I don't
No
know.
ball,
Sure,
2
there's been a
strikes.
Whitey Ford. Right? So I'm like, I don't know if I want that. So then it's like, well, let me get away from Kilcullen. It's a very unique name. Don't get me wrong. I don't know anybody named Kilcullen. I mean, that's got to be some historic baseball name I'm just not aware of. Baseball
that's
name
outside.
I'm not aware of. Sorry, I just like having a coffee fit here. Curveball. Speaking of a coffee fit here, swig of coffee. I do have to work today, and I got to make a couple of calls, and I got to look at a couple other things. Jorge Soler. Where did this kid come from?
0-1's the count.
A Tragic Decision, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, sorry. Division. Definitive
0-2's the
Division
count.
or Infinitive Edition.
Ball.
Definitive
One ball, 2
Definitive
strikes,
Division.
count.
That could be a movie. And they could use
Ball
this
2.
music. Oh, that's in there. Don't give me that. Don't give me any of your lip, kid. Oh. What playable out and right for the hey word. It's not quite the say hey kid, but that's alright.
Batting sixth, first baseman, Patrick Henry.
You see, I wanted my... Oh, and why the Toronto Blue Jays with that second... Why a second baseman?
Ball.
Well, I know second baseman Toronto, you're
Ball 1,
thinking,
no strike.
what, Robbie Alomar. Understandable. But you can also look to him like, wasn't he on Baltimore when he spit in
1
that
ball,
guy's
1
face
strike.
or the umpire's face? And I know that's a black eye on his career. But he played for other teams. I think Sandy Alomar was with Cleveland.
3.
Ooh, Cutter, that was... Come on, that's 50-50, kid. That's 50-50. And I thought Starlin
Leading off
Castro
with a
was going to be the
drive.
guy.
Second baseman,
But then when the Cubs got rid of him,
Castro.
it was just like, you know, I'm not saying he had a bad career, but it never really panned out the way I thought it was going to. I thought he was going to be the guy. Not Rizzo, not Bryant. I thought Castro was going to be the dude. They got rid of him. And I was kind of like, oh no.
Catcher, Darren.
And it never panned out for him.
0-1.
You know what happens? I would imagine, you know, he's had a good major league career. I'm sure he's okay.
0-2.
I'm sure he's okay. Cutter, and he's gone. Hernan Perez.
Batting ninth, third baseman.
See, it's just funny here in spring training. It's like, I kind of wish, and I get why they do it, you know, the Grapefruit League, the Cactus League. I get it, but, like, I kind of wish, like, no, I wish I were
No ball,
at
2
these
strikes.
other ballparks. Not just these itty-bitty spring training places. Cutter, and he's gone. Bad pitch on the inside, but a strikeout's a strikeout.
Center fielder number 35, Abraham Almonte.
0-1.
More Xenoblade Chronicles. What are they doing here, man? They're just playing nothing but this.
The count.
You
0-2.
Will Know Our Names is the name of the song.
3.
Oh, Cutter. Yeah, he'd give me that one. He'd give me that one. I'd be a little upset. I'd be a little upset. All right, Cleveland. All right, this is an American League team. I do not get my swings.
Number 13,
See, so picture this as a real, you know, as a regular season game. Picture this as the World Series matchup. It would be a repeat, by the way,
No
well,
balls,
of what
2 strikes.
happened in real life, not in the game. Not during this career. But yeah, I would definitely want to get myself blasted in and just try to hit nothing but home runs in the playoffs.
Shortstop, Francisco
Give my team every chance to win. And it's really weird because, yeah, NHL 19, I'm a defenseman. Now, I'm doing very well points-wise and ability and all that stuff. But yeah, a defenseman. Like, that's kind of the different thing for me. It's tough to be a goalie on that game, so I'm not going to do that, you know? So, you know, just looking at it in that regard, it's kind of like, that's tough to deal with. Woo.
0-2 is the count.
And yeah, I have kind of decided, NHL 19, I will just finish up the year that I'm in, and then that's kind of it. I mean, I do have a franchise off camera with that, which I really don't touch that often. It just, you know, make some money and build up the arena and all that stuff. Castro, you got a base hit on me. Call me your tatas, Martha, okay? Dribbler up the middle. Wow, they just... It was 1-0. We led by 10 runs in the... As soon as I leave, we led by 10 runs. I struck out 8 guys in 4 innings. Going for coffee. Huh. Well, looks like I have an update on my laptop over here, so might need to do that. Sim through. Let's save because we've completed another week. Now, this is what I was asking about. Do you see all of these? No, you don't. Oh, man. Alright, well. Oh, wait, let me go back really quick. Ah, sorry, I didn't save. Don't mind this. Don't mind this. Like, do you want to overwrite that? So there's Casey Braxton, a pitcher with the Cubs. Floyd Cooper, my DH, I'm actually with the Indians. Victor Cash with the Marlins. Graham Pierce, Blue Jays second base, and Eddie Brooks, a Padres center fielder. Now, I still have a file of Casey Braxton back in, what, October 29th of 2020. I could probably delete that file. And then Derek Metzger, when I ended with the Dodgers in 2027. So let's use that as a measuring stick here, 2027. So we're about to do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 more years to match the duration we did there. Simulated game. Alright, so we just saved... No, simulate this appearance. What are you talking about, game? Why did that go nuts on me, huh? Cuphead. That game, I love the music in that game. Stop simulating. Do we have anybody injured right now? No, nothing? Alright, so let's just cancel out, go back, no big deal. As long as nobody gets injured on that Sunday game, I think we'll be okay. Nothing on the disabled list. And again, that's a thing that I'm glad I've never gotten hurt. And if I did, I would probably redo things. Pitch command. Alright, so a loss. Hold on. Stop simulating. So though we lose, but still nobody hurt. Whoa, calendar. Pitch command training. Let's go. Start this week off with training, I say. I say training. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Ba-da-da-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Whew. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Gotcha. Oh, just looking at Indeed stuff and checking emails. Or, sorry, that was LinkedIn. Sorry. Indeed. LinkedIn, Indeed. I'm sorry, I get confused. But that was LinkedIn. It's a little more professional. It's a lot more positive than, let's say, Facebook. Which, I still post things on Facebook. I will comment on people's things on Facebook. But I try to get away from it, honestly. It's like, where do the big boys play? They play on LinkedIn. I'm gonna go there. I mean, it's serious. Like, if you think about it, where do you feel more accomplished people go to on social media? LinkedIn or Facebook? I want to hang out with the LinkedIn people. And I know that sounds harsh. I know Facebook, it's still a great way to keep in touch with people that, you know, I haven't seen in over 20 years. Closer to 30 years. It's great in that regard. And yeah, a lot of those people, like, I don't see them as being, like, negative content creators on Facebook for the most part. But, you know, sure. Just, the big boys play on LinkedIn, I'm gonna go play on LinkedIn. Building my brand. I don't know what my brand is. I mean, here I am. You know, all my things. MJ Lacomiac, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, you know, Instagram. It's like where I post a lot of positivity things, and maybe I talk about my business and all that stuff, but, you know, it's kind of a weird sell. If somebody really looked and dug in, and it's just like, wait a minute, this guy's playing video games, you know, on a day off, so to speak. It's like, he says he's got some client meetings, and he can do that from home, so he doesn't have to go to the office, per se. It's like, he's gonna play video games, he's gonna play Final Fantasy IX, and then have a client meeting on the same day for whatever they're looking for. A life insurance policy, getting into a mutual fund for investments. Like, I'm sure if somebody wanted to look in, it would be like, dude, what's the deal? Yeah, I'm a weird one. You know, I'm different, I'm unique like that. Here I am talking about a fictional character, Casey Braxton, and his career in the National League. Yeah, hey, I don't get me either, you know? I don't get me either. And that's okay. I think that's okay. Play next appearance. Let's get in there. Click it, I say. I say click it. It's all so good.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the Cubs, number 83, Casey Braxton.
I don't need no warm-ups. Andy Luther, that's another kind of an older name.
Left fielder, Andy Luther.
Well, it's funny, when I kind of look at, like, even in my parents' era and generation, I know, looking at, you know, my Aunt Donna, my Aunt Ruth, right?
Now batting.
Those are names you really don't hear anymore. I mean, sure, if you watch that 70s show, Reruns, yeah, there's the girl Donna, right? Fine.
One's the count.
But if that's supposed to take place in the 70s, you imagine she's probably a boomer, right? Just like my parents, born in the 50s. Yeah, Donna and Ruth. Well, Ruth, okay, Ruth, that's a name that's in Ozark. Okay, fine. Well, yeah, there's certain kind of...
Hey!
Ooh, the dropper gets him. Oh, Yelich! Went from one bad team to another. JT Realmuto, wait a minute, so these are two Marlins. Now, was there a trade? These are two Marlins, now on Cincinnati. Huh. I didn't really pay attention to the lineup here. Bottom six, this is a relief appearance for me. 12-6, the dropper gets him. Huh. I might need to look at those rosters really quick to see what happened. Carlos Correa, that's a good pickup for us from Houston. Well, I know him from Houston. Maybe he jumped around earlier, but...
Here now is our final line score this afternoon.
C.J. Cron, Chris
Cubs,
Bryant.
7 runs on 9 hits.
Cincinnati might be an interesting matchup here coming up. I mean, I got to hit Cron. I got to bean him. But they got Bryant, they got Yelich, they got Realmuto. That's interesting to me. What am I looking for? Standings. Indians, Royals, Cubs, Rockies, Padres. Giants, Angels, Brewers, Diamondbacks, Athletics, Reds. Good batting team. Good batting team. Where are the... Wait, why would the Marlins would be in the grapefruit, because it's Florida. Oh, there, I missed him. Boop. Getting worse. Not good pitching, and worse contact. Can I look at those teams? Yeah, view roster, I can do it this way. Chris Bryant, Christian Yelich, Brendan Finnegan's a pitcher, Cody Allen, Tom Diaz, Tony Cingrani, excuse me. Can't do anything with him. Carlos Perez, CJ Cron, 80 overall, Andy Luther, JT Realmuto, 77. That's not bad for a catcher at 31 years old. 77 overall. So they got some interesting caricatures, but what I want to see is the Marlins, because I smell that there was a trade in there. Jose D. Gordon's still there. Stanton's still there. Eduardo Rodriguez, okay. Travis Shaw. Boston to Miami. Cozart's still there. Buster Tipre, no idea. Been all over. Gary Hickey. Danny Echeverria, still there. Matt Finn. Howard Herring. Daisuke Okada. Arthur Pack. Bo Royster. Juan Robles. Darius Lindsay. Like, what was it? It looks like a trade. May not have been. Diego Lopez. Brian Wilson. Angel Chavez. Floyd, not Ted Nugent. Nephew, like... Chris Nickerson, not Dickerson. Sam Odom. Maybe I played... Yeah, because he's on the MLB roster. It seems like there was a trade, but I don't know. Huh. Okay, well, yeah. Let me just look in our division. 1, 2, 3, 4 players of at least 90. They got 1. They got 0. They got 3. Kutch, man. Diego Valdez. He was with us. Why would you leave? Why would you leave and go there? What? That might have been a trade. And St. Louis, wow, well, Tim Rosenthal, really good. Still got Hosmer, Swihart, Kipnis. Well, how many guys like at least 80? Because I think that's a better outlook of things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 10. That's 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 11. That's 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 11. That's 12. That's 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12, and we're top heavy, I would say. In our division. Next appearance. Let's go. It's tough to break down. I mean, as I'm trying to sort of look at the numbers and see what might be, what might help, so to speak.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the Cubs, number 83, Casey Braxton.
What am I looking at here? I don't know. I don't know. Sorry, that was Instagram lookings. Texas Rangers. For me, this is one team that, like, I just never fell in love with.
Steve Campo.
And I just find them to be kind of boring and irrelevant. Because even the Astros, though they weren't great until recently, even back in the day, at least they had the Astrodome.
Oh.
See, they should not be wearing blue the same way we are. Home whites, colored road uniforms.
Joey Gallo.
See, you're at home, you should be wearing white. I know it's spring training, we all got spring training unis, but, like, dude, even the armpit red stripe thing, like, come on.
No balls.
Yeah, if it's one team that, like, and again, like, I think Texas Rangers, I don't, who's like the, oh, that's, yeah, I go back to my Toronto Blue Jays second baseman. Why second baseman? Well, because the best second baseman of all time is probably Joe Morgan. And so it's kind of like you can still make your stamp as being a good second baseman. Because third base, it's like, you know, it's Michael Jack Schmidt, George Brett, and probably everybody else. But sure, it's Schmidt should be number one for everybody, right? Whereas, like, you know, first baseman, and I mean, you can go back. I mean, you can look at, there's names. You know, there's a ton. The dropper. Catcher, I mean, if you wanted to go Yogi, who often gets forgotten somehow. In my lifetime, Piazza, Buster Posey, Joe Mauer, but Roy Campanella, Johnny Bench, like, there's been great catchers. Like, who's the best? If I'm looking at second baseman and it's like it's Joe Morgan and everybody else, in my opinion, that's a position that I can play with that character. And why Toronto? Well, now sure, when you think Toronto, you might think of maybe a Paul Molitor. You might think of Jose Bautista, Donaldson, who won the MVP. You might be thinking those kinds of players. You might go Holiday before he went to Philly. There's some players, but like honestly, the best individual, like the longest tenured and best Toronto Blue Jay, I believe, is Dave Stebb. I don't even know if I'm saying his name right, and forgive me. But if he's the best Blue Jay of all time, that's a guy you can. That's a guy you can sort of overtake as like the best. Like if there we go, Sonic the Hedgehog music. But Mr. Padre, okay, easily, it's Tony Gwynn. So even teams, you look to the Yankees, well, is it Babe Ruth, is it Lou Gehrig, is it Joe DiMaggio? It's probably based on your era. Derek Jeter, obviously, right? You can put those guys in the mix. Tough to say, like, well, who's Mr. Blue Jay? You know, who's Mr. Texas Ranger? I mean, it could be Pudge, could be, but he won a World Series with the Marlins. You know, was still, you know, doing well there at whatever, Gold Gloves, maybe Silver Slugger, but, you know, sure, and those are younger teams, the Marlins and such. I mean, the Astros, well, they're really good right now, that's why I didn't go to them, although that was an option for me, that was a thought. But, one pitch out, saves the arm, there we go. But like Cubs, Ernie Banks, and dare I say, and it's everybody else. You know, you could think, Andre Dawson, but he was an Expo. I mean, Ryan Sandberg. You know, you got a couple of those guys kind of coming and going, so to speak. Billy Williams, right? Fergie Jenkins. Kerry, you know, not so much. Not for me. But, yeah, like, most every team out there, like, they have that player. Now, honestly, like, I was Seattle Mariners. It's Griffey Jr., yes, it is. But Randy Johnson was there. Before he was ultra dominant. But he was still really good. Edgar Martinez, really good. Ichiro, MVP, Rookie of the Year, you know, dominant. Never won the big ones, you know what I mean? So like Seattle, where they've had really good Hall of Fame individuals, it's like they never did anything, sadly. And I'm saying like deep into the playoffs, winning a World Series or something like that. You know, having great moments, etc. Yes.
Nope. One ball, one
strike. But Mariners, yeah, you could say that. Well, Ichiro could be the guy. Griffey, no problem if that's, you know, your thought there. I totally get that. But like those guys, they did a lot. They did a lot for those for that team. And though they both left, you know, Griffey goes to Cincy. And Ichiro, a little bit of jump around, Yankees and then Mariners. Or sorry, Yankees and Marlins. You know, that's...
Second baseman. Javier.
I'm kind of looking for those pure guys. I mean, the Giants, there's no way. There's Willie Mays. There's Willie McCovey. There's too many. There's too many. Even going back to New York, I'm sure there's names that, like, I just forget because it's a little ahead of my time. Oh, man. Still got him, thank you. On 2 pitches. Saves the arm.
Batting third.
Yeah, the Brewers. Robin Yount and everybody else. Paul Molitor, you know, yeah, Raleigh Fingers, you can bring in some names like that, but, you know, Robin Yount's the guy for the Brewers. Now, they got to a World Series. They went 7 games, I think it was. 1 pitch saves the arm. I think it was 1982, the year I was born. They lost to the Cardinals. But, I think they went 7 games, I think.
Leading off for the Brewers. Right
Like,
fielder,
but in this era, sure, and it's generational. I mean, Yelich comes in and wins 1 MVP or 2. It's like, it's astounding. That's great for him, don't get me wrong. But, you know, anybody could say, like, well, that's our guy. And sure, they could even say the Hebrewer, right? They could say their guy, and his name escapes me right now. You know who I'm talking about. I bring him up all the time.
First baseman number 35.
I can't think of his name, but you know who I'm talking about. Was he like MVP back in 11 or 12, something like that? I can't think of his name for the life of me. But Mr. Brewer is Robin Yount, and it's not even close. Bob Uecker, being the announcer, the voice of the Brewers, that too can be a thing. And he did play for Milwaukee, yes he did. Drop. There we go. It'll come to me. It'll come to me.
Third baseman.
Why can I not think of his name?
Gibson.
Oh, good thing that's foul. But then, okay, take a team like the Cardinals. You want to go Bob Gibson? You want to go Stan the Man? You want to go Pujols? Yeah, Yachty is still there. And a catcher, by the way. So, a position, a team with a player. You know, the Blue Jays don't really have that guy that is their guy. Even the Padres, I mean, Tony Gwynn was there forever. But it's like, you know, you get to a World Series, you get kind of walked. He didn't have his big moments, so to speak. I don't know. Yeah, San Diego is a largely forgotten about team, except recently, fine.
Leading off for Milwaukee.
Recently, I get you.
Joaquin Rocha.
What is this guy's name that I can't think of? The outfielder. My goodness, who, like, tested positive for, like, a performance-enhancing thingy, swore it off up and down and blamed the courier or whatever and the lab techs and all that stuff, and then it was found out that the Hebrewer. My goodness, I can't think of his name. Hopefully he's on the team here still and I can strike him out.
Shortstop. Jim Gray.
Ball 1.
I can't think of it.
Ball 1, no strike.
I see his face.
1-1.
Can't think of it. Oh well. But darn near every team has that guy. I mean, the Astros, you can say it's a little bit different. You could say some people, well, Nolan Ryan.
3.
Cutter gets him. And Nolan Ryan, to be fair, his best years, if you look statistically, his best years is when he left the Mets and went to the Angels. Then he was dynamite, explosive, untouchable. He just continued to pile on the numbers with the Houston Astros. And Astros right now, it's probably going to be Altuve in the long run, I would imagine. Oh boy. Because, who's the guy that's gone? Springer is in Toronto. And that's, okay, that's, if I'm talking real life. 2 pitches, thank you for that. But, and again, it's like I just saw his name and it just escapes me again. I can't think. But anyway.
Casey Braxton.
Pull it down some. There's a good shot. Come on, distance. Go, 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 distance. Trajectory's okay. Gonski. All right, all right. Helping the cause. Doesn't even help with points, I don't think.
Leading off for the Brewers.
You know what I'm going to do? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. And that don't look like him. He plays outfield, or at least did. I can't even see that name. How do I zoom in? This is... okay. Shackelford. Where you at, kid? That's not you either. Whoa, zoom in. You kidding me? Oh well. Why can I not think of his name?
0-1.
Andy, I don't know. Ryan Braun, that's it. Oof. Oof. Not a lot of brains, but a little bit of brawn. Jeez. Andy, Ryan's a four-letter name. That's, I don't know. There's an A in there. Why did Baez leave? We could have had Baez, Correa.
Javier Baez.
0-1's the count.
Anyway, most teams, yeah, there's that guy that you think of. Like, who's Mr. Met?
No balls, 2 strikes.
I mean, not the mascot. But, I mean, for some people, it might be Strawberry or Gooden. You know. Gary Carter had to go to... Gary Carter, I think, is Mr. Expo. I think he's the best Montreal Expo / Washington National of all time. If you're going to combine them both.
Aye.
Carter gets him. Woohoo! But I think Zimmerman's going to be Mr. National.
Now batting.
I mean, unless
Andy
Strasburg
Shackelford.
can really, like, up his game and really put it together. And I'm not saying he's been garbage, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah, the Expos have had their guy Tim Raines, Andre Dawson, you know.
The count.
They've
0-2.
had some guys. Gary Carter, I think, is Mr. Expo, though. Sure, he went to the Mets and won a World Series in '86. But he had all those good years with Montreal. So you'd picture that's probably the guy for them. Oh! But then, later on, Moises Alou, maybe? But then he goes to the Cubs, and of course the whole Bartman thing. And I think he went to the Giants. It might have been before. I don't remember.
Now batting. Pitcher.
Solo home run? Well, I can do another one. Watch me. Watch me, watch me. Not today, sir. Alright. Yeah, the Texas Rangers. Who is Mr. Ranger? It's not Nolan Ryan. He ended his career there. But he didn't have his best years there.
Leading off for Milwaukee.
Still very productive for his age.
Christopher Starkey.
0-1.
But, yeah, is it Pudge Rodriguez? Yeah, what about Juan Gon? He won an MVP there. At least one. Yeah, Juan Gonzalez, he was a stud for you know, a cup of coffee there. But again, did he might be the guy, I don't know. He might be, you know what, Baseball Reference, let me go. Whoops. No. What are we doing? Sweeper, you got it. You got it, kid. You got it down low. Oh, punch to third. You're not Brian, but you'll have to do.
Out.
So yeah, teams. Oh, here's another one. Arizona was a thought of mine. But when you look at it, the Arizona Diamondbacks, the guy for Arizona, it's Randy Johnson. And he was 4 years in a row the Cy Young Award winner. Dominant, dominant, dominant in a hitter's park. So just for that. And I know people, well, Seattle, and you know, he had good years there, and time with the Yankees and everything. And he did go to the Giants.
0-2 is the count.
Forgot about that, but no, his dominance was with Arizona, which includes a World Series co-MVP, and 4 Cy Youngs. So I can't, you know, I wasn't going to think I'm going to Arizona because they don't have a guy. You know, that's just not it. So, like, that's taken care of. The Braves, I mean, Hank Aaron, come on, it's done. Baltimore, for me, it's Ripken Jr., but I mean, Brooks and Frank Robinson, Jim Palmer, Earl Weaver. Now, granted, he's a skipper, but kind of the face of that franchise. The Red Sox, name it. You know, more modern for me, obviously. But I mean, Ted Williams has got to be the number one, I would say, for a lot of people. Realistically, it's Ted Williams. And then Yaz, you know, curveball gets him. Cubs, yeah, it's Ernie Banks and probably everybody else. Although some of these did surprise me when I looked at it. And this is like, I'm looking at the WAR for these individuals. The Cubs, the highest WAR player, is actually Cap Anson. And then it's Ron Santo, then it's Ryan Sandberg, then it's Ernie Banks. But still, Mr. Cub literally is Ernie Banks. So, yeah, you go back to, Cap Anson. No, that's unique for me. The Braves. And yet, it's Hank Aaron. Kid Nichols, Warren Spahn, an underrated stud. Eddie Matthews, Phil Niekro, Chipper, Schmaltzy, Maddox, Glavine, in that order. Andrew Jones. Dale Murphy. Won the MVP the year I was born, so I'm kind of fond of him. Orioles, yep, Ripken Jr., Brooks, Jim Palmer, Eddie Murray. Oh, yeah, Frank Robinson came in. Yeah, he was there for a little bit. That's right. But yeah, Ripken Jr., good names there. Boston. Yeah, it's Ted Williams, it's Yaz, Roger Clemens, and Wade Boggs. And then you go Cy Young, Dwight Evans. Wow. Kind of fun looking at these. The White Sox was an interesting one. This one was interesting because I'm looking more in the modern era. Frank Thomas for me is the guy, But when you look at it, Luke Appling is like Mr. White Sox. And when I looked at his numbers, I'm like, yeah, I get it. Ted Lyons, don't really even know who that is. But then it's Frank Thomas, Eddie Collins, Ed Walsh, Red Faber, Eddie Cicotte, I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Wilbur Wood, Billy Pierce. Then it's Mark Burley, Nellie Fox, Minnie Minoso. Yeah, there's a lot of guys way down the line. For me, it's Frank Thomas. But again, he eventually left. He never won a World Series. He did win some MVPs, though. 2 MVPs. Went to Oakland for a year. Toronto, back to Oakland to close out his career in 2008. So even Frank Thomas, who I loved. No, 2 MVPs. He could be Mr. White Sox, in my opinion. But then again, yeah, Ted Lyons and Luke Appling, I looked at those numbers and I'm like, wow, no, these cats were pretty darn good. Cincinnati Reds, oh yeah, come on. It's Pete Rose, it's Johnny Bench, it's Barry Larkin, there's Frank Robinson. Joey Votto, Joe Morgan. Bid McPhee. Vada Princeton, Tony Perez, yeah, a lot of good names there. Oh, who is this? Noodles Hahn. You can need a guy named Noodles on the team. Oh, wrong pitch. But it's got the same movement. Let's go with it. Because I'm just really talking about who knows what at this rate. Because, yeah, some teams you just... and honestly, the White Sox, though, that's a lot of old-time names. If Frank Thomas... Robin Ventura is, number 13 on that list. Well, Burley was up there. Burley, I think, was number 10. But Cleveland was another team I considered. But Nap Lajoie, Tris Speaker... Bob Feller. Bob Feller's numbers are tremendous. Lou Boudreau, I hope I'm saying that right. Stan Kovelsky. Earl Averill. Then it's Kenny Lofton. Bob Lemon. Then it's Jim Thome. So in my lifetime, Cleveland has not had a lot of long-standing players. I mean, Albert Bell. I could say that. Jim Thome's probably the first one I would think of. Him and Kenny Lofton, really good. But, didn't win the World Series. Well, let me check them really quick. Because Lofton and Thome at least give me something. I mean, Gold Gloves. Lofton missed out on Rookie of the Year. Just missed out. He was number 2 in the voting, 94. Curveball gets him. Jim Thome, 5-time All-Star. He is a Hall of Famer, Silver Slugger. Never won the MVP, though.
The right fielder, number 66.
Led the league in strikeouts, 3 times. Walks, 3 times. Led the league in home runs with Philadelphia. Philly. Then he goes to the White Sox. So, yeah, well, he started with Cleveland. But then, yeah, he went and had good success elsewhere.
Yeah.
Now, Philly won that World Series. He was already gone. He went to the White Sox in 06. Oh, had he stayed. But yeah, Thome had some good numbers, good years elsewhere. Colorado, I wasn't really looking to go to Colorado. And I mean, yeah, it's a younger team. And so it's Todd Helton, Larry Walker, Nolan Arenado, who is now gone. I think that's Tulowitzki. Just too new of a team for me. And plus, I didn't want that whole, well, you're playing in Colorado thing, you know? So yeah, I wasn't looking to go to Colorado. Yeah, Cleveland, a lot of older players. Detroit, it's Ty Cobb, and you got Cabrera, who won the triple frickin' crown. Houston, Kansas City, well, that's George Brett, obviously. Yeah, Detroit, Ty Cobb, Al Kaline, Charlie Gehringer, if I'm saying it right, Lou Whitaker, Alan Trammell, Harry Heilman, Sam Crawford, a lot of older names, Hal Newhouser. Then there's Verlander, who's no longer there. Hank Greenberg's a stud. Norm Cash. There's Cabrera, number 12 on the list. That's a lot of depth if he's number 12. Wow. But he won the Triple Crown, and then again there's Ty Cobb. The Houston Astros, best player of all time, Jeff Bagwell, then it's Biggio, Jose Cruz, Cesar Cedeno, Lance Berkman, Roy Oswalt, Jim Wynn. Altuve is already number 8 on the list. Larry Dierker, Carlos Correa, who we have. Joe Morgan was there, yep, number 11. Bill Doran. Springer's already gone. Yeah, Nolan Ryan is number 19 on the Houston Astros list.
Now pitching for Chicago.
Mike Scott is a better Houston Astro than Nolan Ryan was. Like I said, Nolan Ryan's best years, dominance with the California Angels. But no one would really look to that. They might look to the Astros. And yeah, he closed out his career with the Rangers. I mean, he won a World Series with the Mets. The Miracle Mets in '69. He was there. But anyway, if I'm looking at Bagwell and Biggio and Berkman, who are in the top 5, you know, like, they never won the big one. But even to be Mr. Astro, you know, like I said, Altuve's there now, like, they have a good core. Kansas City, yeah, it's George Brett, really, and Kevin Appier. Wow. But there's a lot of guys there that I'm just not, you know, it's not for me. George Brett is the guy. I was a big George Brett fan growing up. Him and Ripken Jr. were like my guys. Grinders, workhorses, you know.
0-1's the count.
And yeah, looking at the Angels, yeah, Nolan Ryan still ranks number 5 as like the best Angel of all time. Number 5 on the list. And he wasn't there for incredibly long, I don't think. But of course, right now we're in that Mike Trout era, which he's the best Angel of all time. Then there's Chuck Finley, Jim Fregosi, Tim Salmon, who, yeah, underrated. Oh, who's the other guy? And I know he's on this list. Garrett Anderson, I think, is the guy I'm thinking of. Brian Downing, Jared Weaver, Bobby Grich, Frank Tanana, Darren Erstad, Howie Kendrick. Yeah, Garrett Anderson is an underrated player in general. But yeah, Angels right now, they're in the Mike Trout era. And depending on how long he stays there, Ohtani could be the guy as well. The Dodgers, yeah, see, this is an interesting one. Marlins, Brewers, Twins. So the Dodgers' number 1 guy is Clayton Kershaw, who finally wins the World Series. Pee Wee Reese, going back in the day, Drysdale, Duke Snider, Jackie Robinson. Can't be a Dodger because of Jackie Robinson, right? Like, they already have their guy. Like, they retired his freaking number. I wasn't going to go, you know, make a guy, and I'm going to be a Dodger and be Mr. Dodger. You can't.
No balls, 2 strikes.
There's even then Zach Wheat, Dazzy Vance, Willie Davis. Then there's Koufax, Don Sutton. Right, like, they got some players there. They got some players there. And they're still in the Kershaw era, so wouldn't have made sense for me. Well, that's usually the pitch that gets him. He didn't take at it. So the Dodgers, and they got their stuff. The Marlins, it's a young team. And if it's Giancarlo Stanton, Hanley Ramirez, like, again, it's too young of a team, and I just didn't... Now, maybe, with the new color scheme, I would do it. Maybe. Josh Johnson, Luis Castillo, Dontrelle Willis, Miguel Cabrera, Yelich, Cliff Floyd, Dan frickin' Ugla, Kevin Brown, Jose Fernandez, Mike Lowell. But yeah. two new. The Brewers, yep, it's Robin Yount, Paul Molitor, Ryan Braun, Cecil Cooper, Teddy Higuera. Yeah, like I said, it's Robin Yount, Paul Molitor, and everybody else. Gorman Thomas is number 16 on the list, in case we're wondering, as I sit here. Minnesota Twins. Now, this was interesting because, remember, they go back as the Washington Senators. So, Walter Johnson is the number one. But there's Rod Carew, there's Harmon Killebrew, Joe Mauer, Sam Rice, Kirby Puckett, Bert Blyleven. Man, Bert Blyleven, if he had run support. Oh. Stop simulating. Let's get a save going for this one. But yeah, like if you factor Walter Johnson, then if not, then you're dealing with, well, let me check Harmon Killebrew. Because if he played a chunk of his years with Washington, yeah, he did. However, his MVP, like, his superstardom, definitely when they got to Minnesota, and that's the old ballpark. But still. Only 1 year he led the league in home runs with Washington. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years with Minnesota. And he ended his career with the Kansas City Royals, strange enough. But looking at Minnesota, you can easily go Harmon Killebrew. But then again, there's Rod Carew, who Minnesota, was an MVP with Minnesota. Then went to California when he was already towards his 30s. From age 33 to age 39, retiring in 1985. So his best years were with Minnesota, and he was a top 10 MVP, Rookie of the Year, Minnesota as well. But MVP, top 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. All of which with Minnesota. Yeah, as soon as he went to California, age 33, his prime was done right there. Yeah, Joe Mauer, got them all. Got them all. Pitch command, let's go do this. So that's 20. Yeah, I'm going to be this boring and do this. I mean, Mets, Yankees, we don't need to look at. Athletics, Phillies, Pirates. The best Met of all time, you guessed it if you guessed Tom Seaver. David Wright is the number 2 Met of all time. That's nice. Dwight Gooden, Jacob deGrom, quickly moving up that list. He might get there by the end of this season. So he might move into 3rd all-time. But yeah, I mean, just Seaver alone. And like I said, and you got Strawberry, and you got Gooden, guys who won World Series. Is Gary Carter here on this lineup? I mean, Glavin's there. Jose Reyes is in the top 10. He is number 10. Keith Hernandez, Al Leiter. Leiter's what, 12th, 13th on the list? Piazza, Howard Johnson. Mookie Wilson. Yeah, deGrom, Jerry Koosman. Yeah, Tom Seaver and everybody else. David Wright, sure. Wright and Reyes were there. What looked to be what could have been. What could have been. But it just didn't last. But yeah, it's Tom Seaver and everybody else. But then again, like I said, there's David Wright, there's Strawberry, there's Gooden. deGrom's on the come up right now. This excellent pitching run that they're going through. So it's like, there's the Mets. The Oakland, well, and this goes back to the Philadelphia, Kansas City, Oakland Athletics. So there's a lot going on there. It's a very historic franchise. Number 1 guy is Eddie Plank. Then it's Ricky Henderson. So yeah, for me, when I think Oakland, I think that kind of Bash Brothers era. Canseco more so because, McGuire went on to do his great run hitting home runs with St. Louis. But yeah, Canseco and Ricky Henderson. Dave Stewart for me, because that's in my generation. But he was kind of cup of coffee, to be fair. Lefty Grove, Jimmy Fox, and it's kind of like game over at that point in the conversation. If Ricky Henderson's better than him, and he jumped to all these different teams, it's Jimmy Fox, is kind of that historic guy. If it's not Eddie Plank in your mind. And you look at those numbers, it's just insane. But for the Oakland Athletics, I mean, what, Ricky Henderson, What, Sal Bondo? I don't even know. I have to look at his... Hardly know the name. But like, yeah, Reggie Jackson, right? Catfish Hunter. Raleigh Fingers. These guys that part of that 3 World Series clip that they had. If that's your Oakland Athletic, understandable. But again, those are Hall of Fame guys that are there, Oakland. Not just, you know, Philadelphia, Kansas City Athletics. Philadelphia Phillies, I don't know why I clicked this one, because I already said Mike Schmidt is the guy. Then it's Robin Roberts, underrated. Steve Carlton. Chase Utley, number 4. Pete Alexander. Ed Delaney. Am I saying that right? Richie Ashburn, underrated. Sherry McGee. Jimmy Rollins, Bobby Abreu, Cole Hamels. Like, there's some guys in there. Schilling is on the list. So, like, there's a lot of guys there, but yeah, it's Schmidt and everybody else, what I pictured. Pittsburgh Pirates. Well, I forgot about Honus Wagner, but then, of course, Roberto Clemente. And everybody else. Play next appearance. Alright, so Paul Warner or Wainer? Paul Wainer. Archie Vaughn. Willie Stargell, number 5 on the list. Max Carey, Babe Adams, Wilbur Cooper. Then it's Barry Bonds, number 9. Fred Clark, McCutcheon, number 14. Mazeroski at 17. Dave Parker, 18. Okay. Jason Kendall is number 24. Now, how long have they been the Pittsburgh Pirates? They have held on to that name. Let me look into this. They've been the Pittsburgh Pirates since 1891. Yeah, so that's pretty remarkable. They were the Pittsburgh Alleghenies before that. Oh, wrong pitch. That's okay. Let's get another dropper. Who cares?
No balls, 2 strikes.
But they've been the Pittsburgh Pirates since 1891. Won the World Series in 1909, in 1925, 1960, 1971, 1979. And I wish them all the best. The Pirates are... I respect them. Because they're pirates. You are. Yeah, Honus Wagner and Roberto Clemente. Like, how can you really top that? And I like Kutch. And Barry Bonds was great. But then he started being an MVP in Frisco, so you got that going for you. Pittsburgh be gone. Yes, see, San Diego. Oh, no. Did that wrong. I know I'm farting around. This is kind of a, dare I say, a who cares run. Give me the Padres. The Giants, that'll be interesting. Yeah, the Mariners, and I mentioned them. The dropper gets them. Cardinals, yeah, it's okay. So the Padres. It's Tony Gwynn, Dave Winfield, Jake Peavy, Trevor Hoffman, Andy Ashby, Adrian Gonzalez, Andy Bennis, Randy Jones, Gene Terrace, Gene Richards, Chase Headley, Phil Nevin, not Candiotti, what's the third baseman, won the MVP.
Hey!
Caminiti, sorry. And I believe he has since passed.
No balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, won the MVP somewhere around that strike era, 94, 95, 96-ish, at third base. Brian Giles, Nate Colbert, Terry Kennedy, Eric Snow, Ed Whitson, Ryan Klesko, Greg Harris, Joey Hamilton, Bruce Hurst, Benito Santiago, Will Venable. But yeah, if it's Tony Gwynn, then you also got Dave Winfield in there. But not too many Padres. But then again, Mr. Padre, it's Tony Gwynn. It's Tony Gwynn and everybody else. The Giants, Willie Mays, Barry Bonds, you know, that should be game over. But you got Mel Ott. And sure, that goes back to, you know, probably the New York Giants, which I don't know a lot about. Oh yeah, Schwarber's on the Mets. Good, we don't need him.
Got him.
Christy Mathewson, right? Goodness. Carl Hubble, Amos Russi, Juan Marichal, Willie McCovey, Bill Terry, Roger Connor, Mickey Welch, George Davis, Buster Posey, number 13 on the list. Bobby Bonds is number 18. Madison Bumgarner's number 20. Will Clark, number 22. Gaylord Perry, number 24 on the list. But yeah, like Willie Mays, Barry Bonds, good night. That's just kind of, how do you, it's Willie frickin' Mays. I mean, all around, he's probably my favorite baseball player of all time, which is odd because I never saw him play, but just looking at it, you know. Why don't I love Roberto Clemente more? I don't know, quite honestly. But those guys that, like, were just all around great players, five-tool players. Strike, was that a cutter? Did I motion that one? Does it matter? No, it's spring training. I just want the training points. As we're still talking about teams. Seattle Mariners next up on our listings. And yeah, it's Griffey Jr., Edgar Martinez, Ichiro, King Felix, Randy Johnson, A-Rod, Kyle Seager. Kyle Seager's still there, by the way. Jamie Moyer, I think he is. Robbie Cano, don't you know?
The count, 0-2.
Yeah, Jay Buhner. Oh, and this, yeah, good old Adrian Beltre. It's like, yeah, there's been great players. They've just never been able to close the door. I mean, you had Griffey Jr. and Randy Johnson at the same time, and nothing could happen. A-Rod was on the come-up. Couldn't do anything.
3.
Curveball gets him. I mean, picture that. I think at the same time you had A-Rod, Randy Johnson, Griffey Jr., and Edgar Martinez, and couldn't do anything. Like, that's sad to me. But still, for most people, who's Mr. Mariner? It's Griffey Jr.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to bring in, you know, sure, Ichiro as a second, and Randy Johnson, did A-Rod win anything with Seattle? Because I know he went to the Rangers for all that frickin' money. And what, it was like a 7-year contract, but he only stayed like 3 or 4.
He's out.
Ken Griffey Jr., MVP in '97. He led the league in home runs 1, 2, 3, 4 years. The only time he led the league in home runs was all with Seattle. Led in RBIs 1 year, but yeah, MVP, top 10 MVPs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And just the injuries when he got to Cincinnati. It's terrible. I mean, again, what could have been? Oh, nice dive. Oh, gotta hand it to him. Is that Goldschmidt with the Mets? So now I got Goldschmidt and Schwarber. Okay. If Griffey's your guy, understandable. Ichiro, MVP and Rookie of the Year.
Tom Murphy.
In his peak, and well, but he led the league in hits in games played till he was 38 freaking years old. All his time in Seattle, and that's crazy to think. Let me look at that. Led the league in something there. Okay, so his second year, he led the league in caught stealing and IBB, intentional base on balls. Okay. His third year in the league, he did not lead the league in anything. But then, yeah, at bats, hits, everything. Every year, well, even in 2012 when he went to the Yankees, he led the league in at least games played. Okay, so his third year in the league, he did not lead the league in something. Ichiro, like, I don't think we fully understand just how freaking good he was. Randy Johnson's dominance. He did win a Cy Young in Seattle at age 31, but then 4 in a row with Arizona, age 35, 36, 37, and 38. Unfrickin' believable in a hitter's park. So that's why he's Mr. Diamondback to me. But if you want to say that he was he's a Mariner, okay, that's fine. Let's see, A-Rod won the MVP his final year in Texas. Won the MVP, yes.
No balls, 2 strikes.
But had already led the league in home runs every year with Texas. Led the league in home runs, 52, 57, 47. Now, he had home runs of 42, 42, and 41 his last years in Seattle. Was not Rookie of the Year somehow, someway. Won the MVP in 2007.
Rafael
with the Yankees.
Montero.
And I don't think we're going to know how good he really was. 696 home runs. Insane. Almost 700. We're going to look at the steroids and all that stuff, and I get it.
0-1.
St. Louis Cardinals, yeah, it's Stan Musial, who has Rogers, Hornsby, Bob Gibson, Pujols, Ozzie Smith, Ken Hoyer, Enos Slaughter, Ted Simmons. Adam Wainwright is working up the weight. Kurt Flood. The man. Punch out to right, but playable. Dizzy Dean, Lou Brock. Yachty working up the list still. Jimmy Edmonds, love him. Red Schoenheiser. It's so many guys here. But yeah, Stan Musial, Rogers Hornsby, Bob Gibson, Albert Pujols, Ozzie Smith. Yeah, the Cardinals are taken care of.
Leading off for the Mets, center fielder Tyler Watson.
I'm probably taking much longer in this stream than I should be. Because I'm looking at stuff. I'm talking baseball here, you know? I'm talking ball. It's been over. We just hit the 2-hour mark. 2 hours in a minute, I think. I'm jaw-jacking. I know it.
No balls,
All right,
two
well, the
strikes.
Tampa Bay Rays, and I don't like that frickin' ballpark, so I wouldn't want to go there anyway. But as we're winding down, yeah, the Tampa Bay Rays, they're too new for me. And the best guy, Evan Longoria, who I think is still there at the beginning of this game. Carl Crawford.
Be safe.
Ben Zobrist, who I think starts this game as a Cub. Oh, yeah, he was a Cub. He won a World
First
Series.
baseman number 40.
Kevin Kiermaier, David Price, James Shields, Carlos Pena, Scott Kazmir, B.J. Upton, Julio Lugo, Desmond Jennings, Aubrey Huff. Yeah, the Rays, they're just too new for me, and I would not want to play at the Trop, at the dump.
Ball.
Wait, what happened here? Somebody got on base? What did I miss? What happened? I don't know what's going on.
I got the count. 1 and 2.
Texas Rangers, the best Texas Ranger of all time is Ivan Pudge Rodriguez. Although he won a World Series with the Marlins, I at least want to check his stuff. And again, like, I just don't like the Rangers, so I'm very biased against them. I was never a fan.
Left fielder
A-Rod was there.
Kyle
If you want to say
Schwarber.
that A-Rod was the guy. Pudge Rodriguez won the MVP as a Texas Ranger. Okay. He's in Florida for 1 year, wins a World Series, and then goes right to Detroit and starts having really good seasons there.
0-1's the count.
But several Gold Gloves and Silver Sluggers with Texas. Wrong pitch.
Aye.
Well, that's okay, because it's Schwarber. Dropping it. Dropping it.
Now batting, right fielder Stephen Piscotty.
Yeah, so Pudge Rodriguez, from age 19 through the age of 31. Oh, sorry, through the age of 30. But then he goes to the very next team, the Marlins, and wins a World Series. Like, that's where it's just odd to me.
0-1.
Like, he won an MVP, several Gold Gloves, several Silver Sluggers with the Rangers. He could be your guy. He could be your guy. Now, Rafael Palmeiro could also be your Texas Ranger guy, but come on. The steroid thing, like, I'm right there, I was done with him. I was mad, you know, I was younger, the Cubs got rid of him, and then he really started to become this really good player. You know, his batting average, lifetime batting average, 288. Solid hitter. Well, when did the home run start?
Now batting,
At age 30.
catcher,
In
PC
Baltimore, going back to
Braxton.
Texas, or going to Texas, and closing out with Baltimore. Like, come on, fella. Come on, fella.
Aye.
When you start hitting most of your home runs... Oh, sorry, he had 37 at age 28. Like, how do you hit 47 home runs at age 36? No one does that, unless they're on the gas. .47, 43, 38 home runs at age 38. Yeah, but he went back to Baltimore 2004, 2005, and I mean that was the beginning of the end. It really was. And just for that, not a fan of Palmeiro. And like I'm a Baltimore fan, somewhat quiet. I was like, why would I hate this dude?
Off for the Mets, third baseman.
He was doing good for the Orioles. Uppercut shot. You go get that. I'll go cover first if needed. Who's the best Toronto Blue Jay of all time? Like I said, it's Dave Stebb, and then it's Roy Halladay, Jose Bautista, Tony Fernandez, bless him, Carlos Delgado, Jimmy Key, Jesse Barfield, Vernon Wells, Pat Henkin, Lloyd Mosby rounding out the top 10. But if Dave Stebb is your best guy, that's where I kind of like, you really don't have a guy. Like, Texas Rangers, like, you have... unless you're a really new team. And the Blue Jays aren't incredibly old. What, they come in the league 1977, excuse me. I was going to say 79. So they don't have a lot of duration. Which is why I don't look to Colorado, Florida, Tampa Bay, or Arizona. But Arizona has their guy, you know. 4-time Cy Young winner. Well, 5-time, but he won 4 while he was there in a hitter's park. As well as co-World Series MVP. So, like, Arizona has a guy.
I got the count.
Colorado, I mean, yeah, it's probably Helton the way everybody would look at it, but didn't get over that hump, didn't win that World Series. Maybe some awards, Silver Sluggers and all that, but maybe an MVP, unless I'm wrong.
3!
Ooh, the sweeping curveball gets him. Yeah, Dave Stebb, Roy Halladay, who went on... and I think won a World Series somewhere else, right? Oh no, he just got to Philadelphia after they won. Won a Cy Young there, by the way. So a Cy Young with Toronto, and a Cy Young with Philadelphia. But still, if Dave Stebb is your longest tenured best player, that's where I look towards Toronto. I'm just rambling about who knows what now. 11 strikeouts in 5 innings, thank you. Washington Nationals, like I said, this goes back to the Montreal Expos. So from 1969 to 2004. But still, it's Gary Carter, Tim Raines, Andre Dawson, Steve Rogers in that order. Now, Scherzer was there, but he just left.
Here now is the final night.
But Ryan Zimmerman's still there. What do you got? Tim Wallach, Vlad Guerrero, Strasburg, Anthony Rendon, who is gone, Denny Martinez, then it's Bryce Harper. Yeah, so it's like Trey Turner and Larry Walker. Trey Turner. Yeah, that's right, he just went to the Dodgers. I'm like, wait a minute. He's not a what's-it. He was a what's-it. Jordan Zimmerman, Marquise Grissom, Javier Vasquez, Levon Hernandez, Gio Gonzalez, Rondell White, Pedro Martinez, Rusty Staub, Bob Bailey, Ron Fairley. Oh, but that was another thing, too, because Dave Stebb, he's the #1 Toronto Blue Jay, but he ranks on somebody else's, or did he not? I beg your pardon, he did not. He did not. So Dave Stebb, this is amazing. Dave Stebb played from 1979 to 1993. In 1993, he was with the White Sox. 94, 95, 96, and 97, he did not play in the major or the minor leagues. He comes back in 1998 for the Toronto Blue Jays. 1 win, 2 losses with 50 innings pitched. So maybe he comes in like in a relief spot? I don't even know. But to be fair, Dave Stebb led the league in innings pitched in 1982 and 1984. Faced the most batters in 1982. Was #4 on the Cy Young list. So where he did have a little bit of a run there, more than I would have thought. Still, when you think Toronto Blue Jays, you're probably... you can go to Halladay, you can go to Donaldson, Bautista, Encarnacion, Paul Molitor, who helped you win. You know? Tony Fernandez, right?
Nope.
Quiet and extremely efficient. It's like there's a lot you can look at for that one as well. But when Dave Stebb is your best guy, yeah, then the Nationals, while they're still in this mix of being the Nationals and not the Expos, still you have Gary Carter, Tim Raines, Andre Dawson numbers to look at and consider. I mean, if you're looking Expos, you got 3 great guys there. And if you're looking Nationals, it's like, well, you got Strasburg. In this game, Harper is there for the startup. So is Scherzer. So it's like, you're in a run right now of what can be great. So yeah, for me, that's in a long-winded way. That's why I went with second baseman and went with a second baseman and being in Toronto. Because really, who's their guy? Dave Stebb? Like, yeah, I mean, Tony Gwynn never won the World Series, but I mean, all those, you know, just batting titles and all that stuff. Was it Dave Winfield? I almost said Dave Parker. Dave Winfield being their second best player. And he was a good one. Again, underrated. Oh, the dropper. Delano DeShields Sr., I remember, played for Montreal.
Up next for the match.
And it's really weird, like, depending on the numbers of how the ballpark looks, or looked.
0-1.
And I always said, like, I would go back and buy MVP Baseball 2003 and just, I think you can only do a 10-year career, but I would totally have a Montreal Expos career. Franchise, excuse me. Carter gets him. Just to win the World Series every year with them and have, you know, Metzger and Cooper and Brooks and Cash, you know. Just for that. Just to give Montreal their just due. I'm a Canadian sympathizer, I really am. Depending on the sport, depending on the team. It's like, yeah, Blue Jays winning a World Series, and like, now what they did, 92 and 93, that's just the Toronto Raptors winning a NBA championship. Good for them, but it's kind of like, no one really cares. Pitch command, let's enter that training. No one really cares. It happened, you beat Golden State and they were so beat up, you know. It sounds very selfish. Whoops. Well, let's get this out of the way. I think there's one more appearance lined up. It looked like there was one more game. And I know, 2 hours and 12 minutes. This has been a long episode. And me just flapping my gums. I mean, if you don't mind talking baseball. I mean, talking about, you know, the stadium outlook from 2000 to 2015 leading into what this career was, or is, what it's going to be. And just looking at, you know, some other road to the show career that you'll never see. Do you really care? But just, you know, who's the best player on a franchise, you know, when you really think and break down the numbers. And it's funny, like, the Seattle Mariners are that weird case where, like, you had Randy Johnson, Ken Griffey Jr., Edgar Martinez, and A-Rod was on the come-up, and you couldn't do anything. Couldn't win. It's like, that's really bizarre to me. That one really just still shocks my brain a little bit. Does not make much sense at all. I mean, was the Kingdome that bad of a place to play in, or what's... no clue. And honestly, looking back, like, I don't know how tough that division could have been. And I know American League, National League, a lot of things were, you know, switching around, but I mean, what, you got to play Texas, who... Sure, you got Pudge, Nolan Ryan. Well, he retired, I think, 93. Pudge and Juan gone. All right, so he had some bats in Texas. The Astros, sure, Berkman, Biggio. Wait, Berkman, Biggio, and who's the other guy? Bagwell, sorry. Like, you had those guys, very consistent. It's like, but you had, like, Hall of Famers. 3 to 4, like, playing at the same time. And still couldn't just... I don't get it. Shows you how important pitching is. Bink. So how many... Excuse me. What was that, 3 or 4 training sessions altogether? My brain counted 3. Woo! But I'm not the best at counting, so, you know. Alright, so let's jump in here. Against the Angels, Socrates Brito, DJ LeMahieu, Yasmani Tomas, Angelton Simmons. Boy, Omar Gutierrez, 7 at-bats, 4 strikeouts. Not good. Angelton Simmons, 11 innings pitched, well, that's probably appearances.
Now pitching for the Cubs.
With what looks like a ball and a walk.
What? Casey Braxton. And leading off for the Halos, second baseman.
Catch it on a hop, get him out. That's 1 pitch. Let's get rocking here. Was this a start for me, or is this... no, this is relief. 6th inning with the lead.
Number 6, Mickey Rowe.
Hey! 0-1.
And yeah, just getting through some spring training here. It's funny, like today, Friday the 13th here in South Florida, we got there's like a tropical storm that's kind of on its way, and it's probably going to get here at some point tomorrow, Saturday afternoon-ish. So we got a storm that might kind of come through and bother us. What, Hurricane Fred, or sorry, Tropical Depression Fred? I don't think it's even going to get Category 1, quite honestly. Quite honestly, I don't think it's going to do a thing.
1-1.
But yeah.
1 ball, 2 strikes to count.
Cut him down with this cutter. And just when you think you've been cut enough. Oh. Oh. Well, now we'll just cut you down low. Cutter, and he's gone. Dun, 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 dun. Bobby Casilla. And spring training should indeed be over. Now, of course, I got all these training points. I don't need to use them, which is kind of the cool thing. Don't need to. Although 8,700 points. Advance to the regular season. Yeah, I'm sure. Opening day against Noah Syndergaard. So, the next time we jump in and play the live stream Let's Play, let's save right now. I'm not totally done, because I want to look at pie charts and such. Maybe I should make some notes on this, too. Casey Braxton, that is the save file. Let's save that. I got a pen here. I got a notey book here for video game notes. Training and perks. Now, stamina's not really a problem. If I were to do this, man, that's so much. That's 7,000. I don't feel that I walk a lot of people, but still, velocity cut. I love me some break. Not so much on the cutter. I mean, I could. $13,356 to max out all the break on all them pitches. Wow. Fielding, this would cost, what, 47. Same thing. Speed. I'm not much of a stealer type. I'm not looking to do that. Again, I don't know what to do. I mean, I could max this out right now. Should I just do it? Just to affect your ability to limit walks. I don't really walk many people. Control. Affects how accurate a pitcher can throw a specific pitch. Break. How much a pitch breaks, moves, or curves. Excuse me. And that's 16. So hold on. Alright, so we got enough to max out BB9 and stamina, ladies and gentlemen. Should we just do it? Just because I got enough. What will be the next thing then? Maybe some break, but we just saw that's going to cost a lot. You know what? Oops, I did it. We have 87 points remaining. Wait, 99, 99, 99, 99, 99. It's insane. But yeah, still, the plus 10 is BB9 and HR9. Oh, and clutch. So, you know. When there are runners on base. Yeah, break. What would break cost to get to 90? 1,500. Oh boy. Well, not so much the cutter. I'd want the other things. Definitely the 12 to 6. To get you to in the sweeper to have break. And if I were to baby step it, 85, 85, and 85, that would cost 2163. Oh, I can't even get contact. Whatever. Fielding and reaction. This alone costs 4,700. Whew. Durability affects the rate at which you recover energy as well as how susceptible you are to injuries. Now, to max this out would only be 4 grand. But that's 99 plus 61, so that's 160 would be the number. That's insane. Like, how quickly would I gain energy in between innings? Because that'd be fantastic. Control Artist. Yeah, I still like the in rhythm there, the shut it down there. Worm Killer. Guarantees a ground ball, doesn't mean you're gonna induce a double play. The frozen pitch is nice. Smooth hands. Teammates will not commit any errors. That's nice. Yes, the jump up Superstar Mario Odyssey theme in the background. I mean, basically what I'm looking at is, yeah, the break on the break pitches. Mainly the 12 to 6 and the sweeper. The curveball can kind of wait. I mean, reaction time is great. Fielding, maybe a little more. Not gonna lie. Because that's technically 101, correct? So you got that. Speed, I think I'm okay right now. That's a adjusted 74. Yeah, I mean, if anything, I guess I'm looking at break moving forward. Because if these are all maxed out, that's kind of where it needs to be. I will save yet again. And I'll start looking at some pie charts. And that way we can just kind of look at, like, how do we figure teams are going to look? And that way I kind of have it somewhat documented. I mean, I could go back and look at the others as well, but, AL East, wow, the Blue Jays look like they're going to be that team. Let me label this. This is going to be the 2022 predictions. Predictions! So here we go. I mean, the Blue Jays look dynamite. Really good pitching team for the Yankees, but the Red Sox look really good. The Rays, it's not bad. The Orioles, not as good. Well, it's... I mean, I'm saying, Blue Jays... The Jays and the Sox... Rays and Orioles, not bad. Not bad. In the Central... Whoa. Twins got good pitching. White Sox for sure. White Sox right now look like the team to beat for me. I mean, the Twins with really good pitching. I think you can get much further with pitching. Sox and then Twins. The Blue Jays and the Red Sox look really good in the East. Rays and Orioles as like a wild card. I would say, though, the White Sox should win this division. Twins, that would take a lot to make it as a wild card. In the West. I don't know who's better or worse. Worst pitch... Jeez, still. The Rangers should win the West. Really good contact, but like the pitching, and they're to that outer rung. I don't think... The Angels are a better pitching team, barely. Wow, I mean, this is just bad. This is a horrible division. Horrible division. If the Rangers don't win, shame on them. I mean... And they're not even that great. I mean, the Angels, if they can hit a little bit. I'll say Rangers, Angels. Wow. And that's iffy. So, in the National League East, now that's a really good batting team for the Nationals. The Braves, about the same with worse pitching. Phillies, really good pitching. The Mets, that's a good combo. Man. This is weird. Because they're so good at batting. I mean, because I'm a pitching guy, I'm going to have to say it's the Mets, Maybe not the Phillies. Mets, Nats. You know what, though? Because they do have some power. I'll go Phillies right there. And then the Braves. Well, the Braves are said to be 10th. Oh, I'm going to mark that down, too. At the start of this, Blue Jays are said to be number 3. The Sox are to be the number 9 team. The Rays at 19, and the Orioles at 15. I'm going to mark that down as well. White Sox, 17. Twins, 4. Whoa. Rangers at number 5. Angels are the number 26 team. Wow. If I'm saying Mets at 16. And this is a weird division. I can't say like who's going to win. Nationals are 7th. The Phillies are 21. The Braves 10 with really good batting. So I'm giving the Marlins no shot with not good contact and terrible pitching. Now, if the Cubs... Wow, now we're a really good pitching team. That's better than it was in the preseason. Well, we got to win it. We're the number 2 team in the league. All right, the Reds, just no pitching. And I'd have to say Pirates again behind us. Pirates number 20. And the Cardinals could be a decent little... I don't know. The Cardinals bat better than the Brewers. Boy, the Reds. The Reds look to be the worst pitching team in the division. Yeah, the Reds are. Decent batting team. But I mean, Pirates, do I give the Cardinals any nod? I mean, it's a good contact team with okay pitching. The Brewers are a better pitching team with not, but they have better power. Brewers and Cardinals, I'm kind of torn there. So I'll go Brewers are 23. I know, like I'm taking the whole team, but the whole division. Blue Jays or the Red Sox to win the East, the White Sox to win the Central. I'll take the Rangers to win the West. Geez, the East is so different, though. The Mets look more complete. Nationals, really good batting. The Phillies, really good pitching and some power. Then the Braves, really good hitting. I'd have to say, just based on... I'll take the Mets as the winner. We gotta win ours. The Rockies are the best team in baseball based on pie chart. Are you kidding me? With great pitching and contact. Actually, that's not that bad. Now, the Giants, great pitching with power. Padres, I'm not giving you a shot here. Diamondbacks, good pitching. Dodgers, wow, this is a weird division. Because I like a little bit of power in there as well. The Dodgers don't have as good a pitching or as good a contact, but they do have some power. Not much more, but some. Wow, this is a weird division, man. Wow, I mean, I gotta look at the good pitching teams. But see, this is the weird part. The Rockies do play better defense with good contact. Man, this is a weird division. So I'll go Colorado at 1. Better defense, for, then I'll go Frisco. Just a little bit better. And I know defense doesn't matter much to me, but contact versus power. I'm not saying power doesn't matter, but you need to get on base. So if San Francisco is a 6th and LA is number 8, the Diamondbacks with some power. See, no pitching there. I can't give them a chance. I can't. And then AZ, and they're number 13. Not 8, 13, 11, 6, 1. All this entire division is in the top half of baseball. 30 teams, they're all 13 or better, let alone 15th or better. 8, 13, 11, 6. This is a weird division, man, but Colorado, with good contact, you're going to get your power being at home. And you play good defense. And then San Francisco, good power, good pitching. This is tough, man. It's like those top 3 teams. I'm torn. They're all in the top 10. 8, 1, and 6. Wow. That is a weird division. I mean, do I have any locks? I think Blue Jays or Red Sox got to win the division. I'd say here in the Central, it definitely looks like it's the White Sox division to lose. Tigers, a good contact team, but no pitching. Royals, decent pitching, but they can't even hit the ball. Twins, if their pitching is that great, that's where I got to give them half a nod, but I'll still give the White Sox the division. That's my lock, is the White Sox. Rangers should win the West. Oh, don't auto shut down. Don't you dare. Nope. There you go. I mean, I got to give the Rangers the nod here. Is it a lock? I mean, they're the only team that's, like, ranked good. 5th, 30th, 18th on the bottom half, 25th near the bottom, 26th near the bottom. How is that better than that? How are they ranked 25? Power is rated higher than pitching. Power apparently is rated higher than contact, pitching, speed, and defense. But yet they have no power, and they're the #1 team in the league, based on the pie chart. That's weird. Well, I still got to give it. Yeah, the Rangers are my lock in the West. The NL East, excuse me. This is an interesting division. One thing I can say is that I don't see the Marlins doing much. 16, 21, 10, 7, you know. You bet. Well, if your pitching comes along, or if you just support that well, that's going to help. Less pitching and not as good a batting. Phillies, really good pitching with some power. The Mets, though, it's just because they're so balanced. That's where I kind of give them the nod. Now, I got to play them opening day, so I can't give a lock there. Cubs lock for the division. We got to be. Really good pitching, and maybe a roster check here. Doesn't matter who comes in second. This division is so freaking... It's almost wide open. The only one that I say is that the Padres are not going to win the division. Everything else is just so... Jeez, I can't even... It's so weird. Braxton, Correa, Rizzo, Hayward. Charles Finney, a closing pitcher. Was with us... Oh, no, sorry. He was not last year. 34 saves last year. Eric Haney is a left fielder. 24 years old. We need this kid to start growing. Cam Bedrosian, Scott Jean. Luis Francisco. Let's let this kid start to develop. He's 24 and he's been playing a little bit. 48 wins, 28 losses. All right, you got more wins than losses. You're looking pretty good. Rondon still here. Bobby Casilla, second baseman. He's 24 years old. I guess he come in with us last year, I guess. What's he, 212 batting at? Oh my god, that's terrible. Carlos Correa. 282. He's 27 years old. We still got some prime years out of him. But hold on, let me rethink my thing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Still just 12. We're really top heavy. Look at that salary. 31 mil. You know? You know? 31 million. He's making 26. Rizzo 28.6. Hayward 19. Bryant 15.5. Yelich 9.7. Javi Baez 15.4. And wasn't there somebody else? Oh, Schwarber's a Met. 9.1 million. Can't keep them all. Goldschmidt 30. Jays. Oh, so he had been with the Mets. I'm sorry. Jeez. Is there anybody out there making like in that range of 30? Because I know 30.8, like Goldschmidt, and he's a stud, don't get me wrong. 34 years old, 82 overall, probably outliving that contract, so to speak. 31, I mean 26, 28, whew. You're at a 19 spot, but only 15. Not saying you should have stayed, but instead of Correa, could have kept Bryant and Baez. That's about 30 million right there. Third base and second base to bring in a shortstop? I don't know. And who's our kid? Bobby Casilla. 80 overall at 24 years old. On the cheap. McCutcheon, 29.9. Woo! At 35 years old. And still looking every bit of an MVP. Last year, 153 games. You know, batting .330 with 40 home runs. 40 home runs, come on. Come on, video game. Jeez. Yeah, you can see when this game started, he never... Oh, he did hit 30 home runs in 2012. He did, beg your pardon. But when his career started, 2016, look at the home runs. 31, 44, 44, 43, 24, 40. But even with 24 home runs, he still batted .337. Like, come on. 11, 16, 12, 19, 20 million for Chris Archer. 24 for Dallas Keuchel. 22.9 for Kiermaier. Kiermaier, Tampa, right. They don't have a lot of money locked in this team. And they look pretty good, apparently. Look at the money here. 12, 10, 14, 15. Kershaw's getting his 30 at age 34. Last year, 7 and 12. Uh-oh, is it falling apart? 23.9 for Brian Dozier. Trout only getting 20. Severino, what? Severino's getting 23. Harvey's getting 27. Oh my goodness. Mookie Betts, 21. Corbin, 15. Taijuan Walker getting 22. Seattle, okay. Tampa Bay ain't spending any money. And they could still be a solid wild card team. 4.2, like they're not spending a dime. Wow. Josh Donaldson at age 36, $31.5 million. Goodness. Staying with Toronto this whole time. Okay. Strasburg, 21. Carlos Rodon, who's looking pretty good still. Oh, so wait, that means they got rid of, so Sale's gone somewhere. Francisco Lindor, still there, 25.5. Son Castro, 20. Moustakas, I gotta look, Bumgarner, 31.7. Nolan Arenado, 22. Wow. Masahiro Tanaka, 22. Manny Machado, $29 million. He's been there for a little bit. Not even the best player on his team. Puig at 27. Now, with the Mariners, he's been, a couple seasons. Joey Gallo, Rougned Odor. Punchy. Not a lot of money spent here. Well, $23 million for Altuve. At 31 years old, wow, last year only batting .211, 276, 244, wow. Falling apart, kid. Bryce Harper still with the Braves, correct? He's been there for a little stretch. Freddie Freeman's still around. 21 for Brantley. Chris Sale is who I'm thinking of. Stanton and Fernandez eating up all the money. Sano, Jock Peterson. Syndergaard, yeah, Paul Goldschmidt. But no, look at Chris Sale. Where did Sale go? He should be a top guy on whatever team he's with. Lamb, no, nothing. Wolf, Gray, Keller. Trout, Myers. That's Cobb, Irvin, Kimbrel, Bird, Holt. Vogt, Park, Owen, Lopez, Nope, okay. Steven Strasburg. Is Chris Sale falling apart? He is falling apart at age 33. Are you kidding me? Still MLB. Huh. Well, since the start of my career, 14, 13, 13, 15, 13, 14 wins. Okay, he's still there, but $24 million later. But Strasburg's just the guy. Oh well, so I kind of made my picks there, and that's all good. So, the next time we come in and play, pitching difficulties on veteran. Apply those changes. Let's save it up right now. Yeah, 2 hours and 40 minutes. This is a long spring training episode as I'm just blabbing and blabbing. For people that don't watch this, I totally understand. But, yeah, look at it that way. Where this will be 22, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I need to play 6 more years or 7 more years to get to where the Derek Metzger career ended up. So, yeah, we did 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So we're halfway to where Derek Metzger's career ended, and we want to go further than that. Ho-ho! That's going to be interesting, but that's how it is, and so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 Milwaukee, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 Pittsburgh. So that'll be at opening day against the Mets, then we get a shot against Milwaukee, then we'll be in Pittsburgh for our 3-game minimum as we start up the 2022 season. Quiet today in the stream, and that's okay. I had plenty of time to just BS and do nothing. So, all the way around, let's get a swig of coffee. Not quite a finishing one, but a swig of coffee for the gamer guys and girls out there. And all that being said, MJ signing out for now. Till we meet again, everybody. I don't know when or where that's exactly going to take place, and I'm not totally sure what game we'll be playing the next time you and I cross paths specifically. But all I do know is that I will indeed catch you down the road.